This episode of Limit Break Radio is made possible by our generous Patreon donors, including Blaze Scorpio of Lamia, Delud Asura of Gilgamesh, and Devi of Lich. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to support Limit Break Radio, visit patreon.com/limitbreakradio.
Live from Aorzia. Limit Break Radio with your hosts, Unhero.
So what if he wants to come home and spend time online with his guild and pleasure elves, running around with his orky friends?
Kahlo.
What, you got a clan rally?
Juxtaposition.
This is like talking to a mound of pudding.
Ascalia.
My name is Mr. Sticky Dick in my mouth.
LimitBreakRadio.com.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Limit Break Radio, episode number 58. Oh, guys, I'm going to be honest with you.
You're having a great day today?
The best day?
It's his favorite weekend he's ever had.
This may be a tough one. This may on a very personal level for all of us
as a cast
in the room.
Yeah.
This is going to be a particularly hard show for us to do.
A lesser show would not be here today. They'd have called it in.
They would have.
You guys are professionals, and we are super awesome.
They would have. No, that's the thing. Escalia, you are exactly right that a lesser show would have said, these are too many problems for us to face. There's just we're going to have to cancel. There's no way that we could possibly muscle through it. No,
but
not
no.
so.
No, we're here.
We are LBR.
That's right. We soldier on.
We are the many.
That's right.
We have like a combined 8 hours of sleep between us over the past few days.
That is true.
Yeah.
So welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much for joining us live here at twitch.tv/Limit Break Radio. If you're looking at the screen, you'll notice that there is
no screen.
There is a bit of a message at the top.
Oh, yeah. Connect with LBR, limitbreakradio.com.
There is that. No, I'm speaking about what is above that. Today's show is going to be in audio only. So let me explain. This is why. Okay, so all of us have had kind of a tough week around here. But I guess I'll start sharing. We'll start off with a little bit of group therapy before we get into the show today. So
it's a story that's out of this world.
Yeah, we'll start with me. I'll be happy to kick it off. So
we'll begin with the airing of grievances.
He's kind of freaking out.
A little bit. Okay, so here's what happened on Friday evening at like 9 o'clock at night. My PC decided to freeze up, and when I turned it off, would not come back on again.
And I can't go because I don't want
Have
to.
a bad day.
No,
Some
that was your
money for
computer.
your trouble put towards that new MOBO.
Thank you, Crunchy, much appreciated.
So, when you say would not turn back on, do you mean failed to post or nothing?
Nothing.
Ooh.
Nothing. No fan spinning. Nothing is happening.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, if it was just not posting, that would be one thing.
Right.
I thought maybe for a second that it may be the power supply, and that the power supply was just preventing the whole thing from powering on. But I have a power supply tester and was quickly able to rule that out.
Well, that's good. The power supply works.
The power supply does work. So as I started taking parts out of my case, I noticed that there was some kind of like greasy
Yeah.
substance on the motherboard.
Well, what are you doing eating pizza over your motherboard?
I'm not.
Was it hamburger?
Yeah, it was not.
It must have been the bacon.
I was not eating anything over my motherboard.
Well, that's really good. I would definitely not recommend you eat over your motherboard.
Now, the only thing is I do have a liquid cooled unit in there. Like, I do have a liquid cooled unit for my CPU.
Okay, now you understand that the liquid cooling isn't supposed to go on like the motherboard and stuff.
Well, after running significant amounts of tests and powering the liquid cooling unit back on, I can't find a single leak that would have come from it. It's powering what is running this stream right now. Well, not powering, but it's cooling what is running the stream right now. There are no leaks in it. And the other thing is that if it leaked, it would have had to leak 90 degrees sideways, right? Like
water gravity.
Water doesn't liquid when it unless it like it was under pressure and it squirted out to the side.
Well, we all know about when that happens.
Was it Astroglide?
It was not Astroglide. I don't know. Anyway. So the thing is dead. I had to rip the guts out of my machine and quickly go buy another motherboard and CPU, slap that sucker in, and I basically installed OBS like an hour before we started today.
Oh, well, I'm sure that's doing wonders for your nerves and stuff, because I know how you don't really like try to make things all planned out and make sure everything's running smoothly beforehand.
Listen, when things don't go as planned for the show, Nero handles it like a professionally, very calmly and patiently.
I have been having a sustained panic attack since Friday.
It was rhetorical.
I kind of don't know where I am. I can taste colors. I know that that's not normal.
What?
It's very purple in here.
I haven't slept hardly at all. I was up every hour last night trying to make sure that the Windows updates were updating.
That's a good one.
It's been a miserable couple of hours. Anyway, the best that we could do was to get the logo on screen and get the audio out. So that's
Jesus. Did you even try?
I tried a lot. I tried so much. I did. I tried so fucking much.
Kidding, obviously.
And god damn,
he's killing it over there. You know, we used to joke that LBR had a bit of a tech curse.
I know.
But the longer this joke runs, suddenly now we're just kind of worried, like, okay, maybe we do.
I know. It really, like, and I can't explain it. I have nightmares about this situation. I don't dream very much, and I definitely don't remember my dreams when I do. Okay, but I last week had a nightmare where I had literally I was in the studio and every piece of the floor was covered in a different computer part and they were all like daisy chained together, right? And the only part that I remember from the whole dream is that Fritz started to come into the room and I went, no! And everything went dead, and I woke up like all the power, like everything went dead, and I just woke up, and I woke up sweating. I had sweat through my pajamas. It was I cannot tell you how much this shit stresses me out and bums me out. And
did you wake up and be like, "Fuck you, Fritz"? Kick him out of the bed.
Kick him.
I don't know.
This is all your fault.
I don't. I hope I didn't.
And Nero has dreams about like his like hard drive failing while he's not wearing pants, and then he gets called on for the test.
Dude, well, it is what it is. Yep. So here we are. We were able to make it in time. I apologize if I seem frazzled because I am.
Just take a deep breath. You're in your safe space now.
Dude,
you're with the LB Army.
I know, and I'm just like terrified that these screens are gonna go black, and if they do, I'm gonna carefully, because I learned this last week, to not do anything with my headphones for fear of them breaking. I'm going to set down my headphones very gently, and I'm going to walk out my window. I swear to God, if it all goes dead, I'm done. I'm packing it in. I'm tapping out. I'm just done.
Okay, well, see, like the computer goes off, and he's just like, "Move, Papa Woody." Just walks past him out the window.
Look at that probably won't happen. A much more likely scenario is that Comcast will fail us once again.
They are downstairs.
Okay, but here's the thing. So even though there's no studio, yes, we are absolutely still able to take your calls. That's the cool thing about Limit Break Radio. We build in redundancies to our system. So really, when my computer goes down, the only thing that we lose is the ability to stream live to Twitch. So even if we hadn't been able to get the computer revived in time for today's live show, we still would have had a podcast.
Yeah. You just gotten it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, assuming whatever mysterious liquid happened to come on your motherboard didn't also come onto your recording device over there.
Yes, right. It didn't.
A Nero.
It didn't. You
didn't.
You know, honestly, if that was my jizz, I've had at least two of you look at the motherboard and take your pinky and then smell it afterwards. So
you've had two of us?
I think.
I didn't touch it.
What
I
were
just
you and
looked at it.
Ascalia and Papa Woody doing before I got here?
Our usual circle jerk.
Anyway,
I'm not part of the circle jerk
for fairly obvious reasons.
Anyway,
because it's a circle jerk.
If Nika was here, we'd let her in. Her team does it all the time in the fantasy league.
But because I like them.
Thanks.
So anyway,
I hope I'm not interrupting a circle jerk.
Oddly on the nose drop. So anyway, all right. There we go. That's my that's my sad tale of woe this week. Juxta, how are you doing? Your back was hurting last week.
Yeah, my tale of woe.
Your
was
tale?
Yeah,
sale.
The sale. Did he usually have sad stories to tell?
Sale.
Is that anything like a whale tale?
I can't get that image out of my head.
Scully is flashing back to your quiet cosplay.
So it's about sailors, right? It involves seamen.
Shut up, Papa.
Damn it, Papa
Nobody
Woody.
asked you.
Boo.
No, my
Boo.
sad tale actually began last week.
Yeah.
On my second day of work, ironically enough, I was going to going to buy new shoes because my old shoes have holes in them. And, you know, when it's raining like crazy, it gets up in your shoe, and that's not conducive to a 11-hour day.
Yeah, right.
So I went to Target to get some new shoes, and I was rushed because I was rushed because it was like 30 minutes till my shift. So I didn't bother going to like a bench or whatever. I just like kind of bent over, twisted my back or whatever, just fine. And I left Target. And Target.
Then he went to Jean Cristobal Penny's.
Oh, good one, Papa. That was nice.
No, you are not giving the intern credit for that, you scumbag.
That was a nice one.
Oh, eat a dick.
It was remarkably clear too, considering he doesn't have a microphone.
I know. It's weird how that happens.
Would you say that is Woody props?
Yeah. Well, no. Actually, I'm going to take credit for that one because that was my masterful engineering skills. I just popped on his microphone real quick because I knew he was going to say something clever, and then I popped it right back off.
That's really interesting because he never says anything clever.
I know, it's shocking.
Or just anything.
I know.
Anyway, so I left Target and I went to the mall to get shoes, and I bought shoes, and as I was leaving, suddenly I couldn't move. Like literally, I went to my car, and as I was gonna bend over to unplug or unlock my car, I couldn't bend over anymore. And I actually couldn't walk, and it was the most painful 10 minutes of my life because I couldn't like bend over to put new shoes on. I couldn't get into my car, so I just kind of walked around my car in the parking lot trying to work it out.
Have you tried running?
Not when my back is completely effed up. I went to the doctor.
Yeah, did you see a doctor?
Yeah, I went to the doctor last Monday, and apparently it's just like a pinched nerve or like a pinched disc or something. Actually,
discs are not cool. My mom had to went to surgery with her slip discs and shit.
Yeah, slip disc is
I don't think it's probably not a slip disc then, because I mean I went to an X-ray to see what the problem was with that, and they haven't called me back, so I can only assume that it hasn't been anything that drastic.
Well,
they just don't have anything they can do about it.
Hang on, let me. What day did that happen?
Everything happened.
No. What day did you get the X-ray?
On Monday.
On Monday?
Yeah.
So if they got the results of the X-ray, like maybe on like Friday, maybe they didn't call. See, because I went into the doctor on Wednesday this past week,
right?
And I got a full blood workup, HIV test, the whole thing. And I was thinking, like,
HIV?
No, I haven't tested for it in a little while, so I thought it would be good. But I was thinking about it, like I was it doesn't take that long to process blood work. Like they should have called me by now, because they haven't called me at all. And then I was thinking, maybe they just didn't want to call me on April Fool's Day, because maybe that's just not the best day to break news to somebody. I mean, I'm not feeling bad or anything. I mean, outside of the complete rampant anxiety that I've been feeling for the past 2 days. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. That was just my own personal theory. Like, can you imagine if you had to tell someone that they had AIDS on April Fool's Day?
Yeah. Or you have like late stage cancer. Like, we might be able to do something if we start treatment immediately. Like, if we can't wait another day.
Right. Like, I think my response to that would be like, you're fucking with me, right? Like a little.
That's in horrible taste, you scumbag.
No doctor would ever actually do, like, if a doctor pulled an April Fool's joke on you, they could probably get sued.
No. I'm not saying that. Not saying that they would play an April Fool's joke, but delivering news like that on April Fool's Day has got to be very awkward, or weird for a doctor. That's my only.
Because everyone's gonna be like, April Fool's, right? And you're like, no.
Yeah.
The April Fool is you.
Anyway.
Because it's true.
I know.
And you're going to die.
Well, I mean, that's true of everyone. Escalia.
So yeah, I remember back in the day, I used to love Magic pre-release weekends. They were my favorite because, go play and they're fun. Working at a game store, those aren't my favorite anymore. This weekend has been 2 12.5-hour shifts.
Brutal.
So Saturday morning, I got home about 7 in the morning and went to sleep. And I got nudged awake about an hour later, and we had a family health scare that morning. So I had to go to the hospital, and I was at the hospital till like 4 in the afternoon. Finally got out of there, came home, showered, went back to work for another 12-hour shift. Got home this morning around 6 in the morning, and was just like, if I go to sleep, there is a 0% chance I get up for Limit Break Radio.
Yeah.
0.0. So I've just been up. I have slept 1 hour in the past 2 days, and I'm dying.
Doesn't your place of employment have, like, other employees that they could call in for
They
pre-release?
do, and they work, but they work the day shift. Like, it's me and one guy work the overnight shift for those pre-releases, and then the other 2 guys work the day shift.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I just feel like you work an awful lot for having, like,
for being part-time and never having any money.
Yeah.
So I normally work 20 to 25 hours a week, but on pre-release weekends, I work like double that.
Jeez. And Woody, I'm going to give you a mic here for a second.
Yeah.
Just share. Go ahead.
Well, let's see.
All right, that was a great second. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
No, just go ahead.
This week I'm on...
Why do you even bother living?
Like Nero, I'm ready to jump out the fucking window.
I know, dude. I'm right there with you.
I've had medication changes, so I've had lack of sleep, some nights. Not feeling well.
Yeah.
Then on fucking April Fool's.
On Friday. Yeah.
My computer also went down when I came home.
Yeah.
I got the boot manager error.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
Nope. So I put in my Windows 7, didn't recognize it.
Ooh.
Shut it off, try to restart it. Nothing. Nada.
Nothing. Ugh. And so you thought it was your power supply, and you brought that with you. We tested it. Turns right on.
Yeah, and it's my motherboard as well.
Did you also jizz on it?
No, mine's up high, so I don't have that kind of accuracy. Probably why I'm a bad bard. You know?
Notice he says the accuracy. He does have the force behind it, though. It's got the distance.
Yes, it does.
Anyway, all right. Yeah. So those are all of our personal tales of woe. I thought we'd get that right out of the way.
I had a good week, guys. So
you know what? No one cares, Nika.
Mute her microphone.
We are a sad, depressing show.
Nika coming in to humble brag once again.
That wasn't even a humble.
I wanted to say something, and
Nika's like, I won an award this weekend, and.
Anyway, that's a very roundabout way of explaining why we don't have visuals this week. If you're watching on YouTube at youtube.com/Limit Break Radio, we do apologize. It is going to be an audio-only version of the show. If you listen to the podcast over at limitbreakradio.com,
you'll be unaffected.
You'll notice no difference, honestly. It's going to be no different for you. Although, you may have noticed a couple of changes that we've made to the RSS feeds. As I said on previous episodes, we have removed all episodes of Final Encounter Cast and Refresh from the Limit Break Radio, A Radio Returns, the specific FF14 content feed that exists for Limit Break Radio. We appreciate you guys checking out the shows, and we wanted to post those as a way to encourage you guys checking it out. We hope that you did, and if you liked that content, you can now find those at their own feeds, which can be found both at iTunes, but also over at finalencountercast.com. And the other thing is that the Limit Break Radio Network feed has now officially been changed to the LBR Podcast Network. So that's going to feature everything from Limit Break Radio, everything from Final Encounter Cast, and everything from Refresh. So if you want to subscribe to everything, you can do that. That's limitbreakradio.com/rss.xml, or just search LBR Podcast Network. And speaking of which, with all of the technical issues, we're going to be we're not going to be doing Refresh on Wednesday, just so you guys know. We do apologize. Sorry about that. I may pop on and air an old episode from the
original run.
From the original run.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty butthurt about it.
But the thing is I'm going to need some time to set everything back up. I got everything that I could set up in a hurry, but
do you not save can you not save your OBS profile somewhere?
Maybe Dropbox them in the future. Can we do that?
You can. The thing is, I've got to install fonts, because I use a lot of different fonts. I'm going to try to restore the OBS profile. There's other stuff that I have to do before I try to do that.
Okay.
So, and if I have to remake it, that's not the worst thing in the world, because I knew I was gonna rebuild Final Encounters from the ground up. It may be a good time to.
No, might as well wait on that. Go ahead and rebuild it from to what it was before, and then go ahead and rebuild it from the ground.
I think we're gonna have to rebuild it from the ground up.
I feel like that's kind of roundabout. Why don't we just make it old again and then make it new?
Anyway, just shut up. Just shut. So yeah, if you're subscribed to the podcast on our website and you're curious where episodes of stuff that you like went, then check out some of our other feeds available at limitbreakradio.com and finalencountercast.com. Also, for those that are super excited about all of that Final Fantasy 15 news, after we wrap up this show at about 5 o'clock, we'll be live over at twitch.tv/finalencountercast. That will also be an audio-only presentation. Sorry about that again. And we'll be talking a lot about Final Fantasy 15. So we are going to be taking your calls today on Limit Break Radio. You can do that, Limit Break Radio on Skype, or 810-515-8715. We're going to be talking about two things today on the show. We're going to be talking about patch 3.25 and the most recent anima step that was added. We want to get your reaction to it. There's been a lot of discussion about was the eye level increase enough? Were the tasks that they added difficult enough? Is Square Enix just phoning it in with the anima step at this point. We want to hear from you. Limit Break Radio on Skype or 810-515-8715. And I saw at the beginning of the show that we got a host from Joe Never. If he's still around, he may want to chime in on this topic. We're going to talk about feast feeding. People have been using the new PvP method to win trade and not even win trade.
Just win give.
Just win give to be able to...
welfare wins.
Yep, to be able to farm ESO. So we want to hear from you. What do you feel about feast feeding? Is that a legitimate tactic to farm your tomes, or is this some scum of the earth type shit? We want to hear exactly from you. We also want to thank our sponsor, Alamo City Comic Con. Check them out at alamocitycomiccon.com. We normally have their logo on screen and would be playing their trailers and everything, but unfortunately, with having to reset everything, we're getting a lot of that back up and running. So again, thank you to Alamo City Comic Con. Check them out at alamocitycomiccon.com. Yeah, if you're going to be in San Antonio or want to come to Alamo City Comic Con, Limit Break Radio is going to be out there with a whole bunch of other cool people, including Tom Kenny, Amy Jo Johnson, I'm trying to think, David Prowse,
Billy D. Williams.
Lando's going to be there, man.
Yes, yeah, Lando.
Can you do me a favor? Can you guys take out a Colt 45 bottle for me and get it signed?
No.
Yeah, we probably could do that.
That'd be fucking awesome.
I'd probably have to empty it to bring it back on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we can get it, and we'll have it in the studio, but we won't actually give it to you.
Oh, yeah, you can just see it. You can visit it every week.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? No, not even that. We're going to put it up here on the shelf, and when you come over, we're going to put like a blanket over it so you can't even see it.
It's going to be like the Elf on the Shelf. It's going to be LBR's version of Elf on the Shelf. We have to cover up the Billy D. Williams Colt 40 bottle.
Move it around every few weeks.
Yep. Yeah.
Juxta goes the extra mile to spite interns. Juxta, I respect that, man.
Well, they're interns, so not people. They don't have feelings or emotions.
He speaks from a place of hurt, way down deep.
Well, he would know. He is our longest standing intern.
Yes, idiot!
So
he's a symbol to all interns of what you can become with enough annoyance.
Enough persistence and perseverance.
I sure can't wait.
I think he's just a simpleton. That's all I can come up with.
Papa?
No, you.
You too?
No. See?
They're on my iPhone, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. How about that?
Anyway, so yes, thank you to Alamo City Comic Con, and check them out, alamocitycomiccon.com. Did we ever figure out a way that we wanted to give away the 60-day time card? I had kind of thrown it out there. I was like, we need to figure a way to do this, and then
I threw out a suggestion.
I thought everyone liked Papa's idea.
I have no idea. Oh, so we're entrusting this to Papa. We're just Papa, here's a 60-day time card to give away. Okay, Papa, tell us how we're going to give away the 60-day time card. I'm interested to hear this.
Well, I thought we could give out a catchphrase on LBR, and then another catchphrase on FEC, and then the winner would have to post it to both phrases to Twitter before the podcast or whatever gets posted on Tuesday.
So it was a good idea. They
encourages to listen to both
and go on the Twitter.
Do we say the catchphrase in? Well, how does that? So each show has a unique catchphrase.
Each show would have a unique catchphrase, and then
so they have to listen to both shows,
right? And then of the people who post the right phrases to Twitter, we'd pick one of them.
Yeah. So you say like
they would go into like a drawing.
Yeah, you say like today's the 60-day time card catchphrase is whatever.
Well, don't say it right now.
I know.
Don't let people know.
I didn't, but then on LBR, and then you can say the second half, the same thing. The catchphrase is
okay.
On FEC.
And everyone who tweets it by Tuesday gets put into a drawing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Which means they have to have listened live.
Okay. All right. I like this. This is pretty good. This is pretty good.
Was a good idea.
Let's add another layer to it.
Thank you.
Let's make the catchphrases one of my drops.
maybe. I mean, do you have a specifically really good one?
Oh, I have tons of really good ones.
No. I mean, like
a specifically really good one.
Yeah, like not just like okay, haha, but like do you have one picked out like?
No,
nothing special. Okay,
if it gets too elaborate, then they won't be able to write it down in time.
Yeah, exactly. It's also got to fit into 140 characters. Some of those drops are pretty long. If you just pick one at random,
maybe they can do a double tweet. Is this not worth a double tweet?
No.
Maybe it's worth like 60 tweets because you're getting 60 days out of it.
Okay, so if you want to hear the passphrase for the first part, we're going to do it at some point here on LBR, and then the second part of it will come at some point during FEC. So someone could get this could walk away with this time card if they stick it out and listen to both shows live.
Right. Correct.
But you got to, okay, all right.
Okay, you're right, though. It has to be it has to be, the chat is pointing out a very important aspect of this. It should be shorter than that, because if before Tuesday, people who didn't listen live are seeing a bunch of people tweeting a catchphrase, who says they can't just copy someone else, just tweet at that point?
And is it the first person that does it, gets it? Like
you could put like maybe the first 20 people.
Maybe the first 20 people get put into a drawing.
Oh, the first 20 get put into a drawing.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, unless we were retweeting it, like, I don't think, or if people follow us and the person, they could see if they tweeted at us. But I mean, it works for me.
Yeah, works. We've given away stuff with worse methodologies.
Should there be a deadline for like when you can start? Like, you can't tweet until the second the show's over, or
no? I think you should. As soon as you know them both, you should be able to tweet.
Or do they? Or is the starting gun when the show gets posted as a podcast?
No, because then people who listen
Yeah, this is supposed to be like we're benefiting people who listen live.
Okay.
I think it closes when the show's posted as a podcast.
No, that's the latest it can go.
Yeah.
But the thing is if it goes longer than 10 minutes, there are going to be people who didn't listen live who can just copy the tweet and start.
Okay.
sharing.
All right. So you got to listen live to both shows.
Yeah.
We're going to do this today. Do you want a 60-day time card for FF14? Then
I bet you do.
Well, if you're listening to this show, I guarantee you that.
Think how much content you can get done in that time.
I know, right?
Like all of it.
Damn it. Fuck you.
We just have to decide if they can tweet in the middle of the show as soon as they know both, or if it's like the second FEC.
Well, yeah, why not?
As soon as you know both, go for it. First 20 that we get will get put into a drawing. One of the 20 people will win. That's how this works.
Yep.
You want to add some real stakes to this? Let's make Papa give the catchphrases and think of them on his own.
That's what I was going to do.
And now it's on you, Mr. Woody, to be creative and smart and intelligent, which we all know you will fail.
Well, after that, I'm pretty sure I got a good catchphrase right now for you.
Okay, do you think about yourself?
Hey, you're number 1 too, Papa.
Yeah.
Well, his mic goes off until we've decided that it is time for the catchphrase.
And we won't tell him it's time for the catchphrase. It's like,
no.
And now catchphrase from Woody.
Right.
And then done.
All right, let's talk about some FF14 news.
This is a limit-breaking news update.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh dear God, no!
Oh no, it's nothing. It's going over the stream. It's
we just can't hear it.
It's just our headphones.
Okay.
There, see, it's the short and the cord.
Should we get a new cord?
No. Well, we could. We should. I mean, that would be like a $2 replacement.
No, we can't afford that.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. All right. FF14 news. A new Bennu mount was added to the cash shop. So if you're sick of trying to get that from your Sky retainers...
It's not even that expensive anymore. It's like $3-4 mil on the auction house. And that was as of last week, so...
If you're sick of sending your Sky retainers out, or you don't want to spend $3 or $4 mil, you can just fork over the... What is it?
24.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Get the fuck out of here. That Bennu mount is $24?
If I'm not mistaken.
That's more than Odin, right?
No, it's the same.
I thought Odin was 20.
No, it's 24.
No, yeah, Odin is 24.
But the Bennu mount is just a recolor, isn't it?
It is.
$24?
But
For
like,
recolor?
but the thing is, yeah, like, okay.
It plays T13, T12. It plays the whatever music it is.
Still.
Oh, the Phoenix music?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's cool.
That is cool. Still not
It's
worth...
not $24 cool.
Yep, still not worth $24. But here's the thing. The Odin mount was way more unique. I get it that it was kind of a reskin of the existing horses that we had, but it was, I mean, it was clearly it was Odin's
It was
mount.
Sleipnir, right?
Yeah, like it. Yeah, I like that.
There's no lore behind Bennu. Well, yeah, there is. There's
Sure there
lore
is.
behind Bennu.
Sure, there is.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was a giant bird.
The bird in
11.
12 or T12.
But
shut up, idiot.
But that I still don't understand how or why this would be worth $24. I could justify it for the Odin mount. I could not justify it here.
How much is the red and white Magitech armors?
That's a great question. I have no idea.
I think they're like $10, $12.
I feel like they're way less. Yeah. And I mean, those are literally just reskins or recolors.
Yeah.
And I mean, just I don't know, man. Whatever.
$24. That's steep.
I feel they should have gave us fucking Phoenix. That would have been cool and worth $24.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you.
I don't know that I can say any mount would be worth $24. It's still just an aesthetic mount.
I also agree with that too. I don't know. I would not have gotten the Odin. Well, maybe I would have. I don't know, but Juxta had gotten it for
It
me
was purchased for you, yeah,
for Christmas. But I did want it. I legitimately, when they added that to the cash shop, I was like,
but you didn't do it. You waited till someone bought it for you.
It was pretty quick that somebody bought it for me.
Yeah.
I didn't have to wait that long. I feel like I would have broke down. I have no desire to buy this Bennu mount at all.
No.
I kind of do.
If it was $10, I might.
At 24.
That's the thing. Like, I don't have a problem with purchasable cosmetics, but there's a number where you're just like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
$24 is insane. Like, $10 for a really cool reskin of something or a really cool aesthetic is not a problem to me. But $24?
Yeah, it's like when you're getting up to 24, it's like at that number, like you might as well just start paying like $279 for like a game or something.
Yeah,
What
that
a
is a bit.
loser to
That's
do
like
that.
a 2-month subscription.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because the Zoo mount looks exactly like it, just a different color.
Okay, for starters, Nika, for some people that's 1 month, okay?
Your retainer addiction.
Oh, God.
You have... How many retainers do you have?
I have... How many do I have? I think I have 7.
Good God.
Total. I mean,
How many can you have?
8.
Wow.
Well, I need it for all the fucking glamour.
Oh, my God.
Of course.
Square Enix needs to add a glamour chest.
What? Like
You know,
a place
like-
where...
A glamour chest?
You know, like the armor.
Yeah, I got it.
I know.
That was a pun.
That
It's
you can't equip.
really bad.
That's really good.
I do actually want mannequins. Like,
No, mannequins would actually be
equipable
legit.
mannequins would be hype.
No, I would. That would be great. So also we saw the release of patch 3.25, which we're going to be talking about in much more detail here in a little bit. If you would like to call Limit Break Radio on Skype or 810-515-8715. Something I forgot to mention, both to you, Juxta, and to Kooky, who I'm sure is listening right now, is that I do not have Skype installed on this
Okay.
computer, so I will not know when there is someone on the line.
Okay, I will take charge of that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're really welcome.
So it is, dude, this week has been brutal. It just has. It's going to be, look, it's going to be this kind of a show, guys. Come
on, don't be shitty.
That's what our Twitch viewers are saying to us.
Do you remember episode 3 of Limit Break Radio of this time around? When we tried to get drunk before the show started?
Oh, God. I do.
This is the rebirth.
I do. Anyway, all right, let's talk about 3.25. The latest Anima weapon quest has been added. Of course, you can find that up in Oz's Law. I could not be bothered to read any of that flavor text. I tried. I was even on stream when I was doing it. I think we were waiting to queue on a dungeon, and I just clicked through it. What is going on? Are we still finding the voice of the weapon or whatever?
Well, since the quest is called Finding Your Voice, I hope so.
I mean, the flavor text this time around was not very exciting. So yeah.
Okay, all right. Guess I'm
so
not
exciting that I don't remember it.
Yeah.
We have to get oils for some reason.
Did any of you guys finish yet? So
I'm at 3.
You're at 3? No, you're not playing right now. Okay, so yeah, nobody's done
Mika?
yet. I was kind of curious what the resolution to it is. I don't really give a shit about
if I wanted to, I could have been done by now. I mean, that's how easy this. We'll get into this later. Let's hold off on that.
Yeah, that's true. The number of Grand Company seals required for the following items has been reduced, and that's the Chocobo insurance or issuance. Sorry. Can't read today.
Chocobo insurance. Yeah. You gotta get my Chocobo insurance up to date.
I know.
Get that collision up.
I was kind of confused as I said it.
Do I have to get collision insurance or can I just get PLPD?
Well, I mean, your deductible is going to go way up. I mean, it'll be like 500 Geico greens if you don't, get
brutal.
a good rate.
I'm gonna switch to Geico. One sec.
The Chocobo issuances. The Chocobo issuances.
Warco. Yeah. Well, that's what you use when you have Chocogo, right?
Ugh.
Stop.
That was the worst. That was
so disappointing.
I was so bummed out about that April Fool's joke. That was
it was funny.
That was the one piece of news that we kind of glossed over. Oh, we technically haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, the choke, whatever.
It's funny.
Yeah, it is, but just like in this day and age, you expect funnier than that. If you're gonna try, you got to do better than that. Like you've got people like Blizzard around. You got people like Riot around who do really good April Fool's jokes.
Yeah, look. God played the best April Fool's joke on me and Woody that anyone has ever played. Okay, all credit goes to God. Anyway,
that's the
only time you'll ever hear me say that.
Yeah.
Chocobo issuances from 2,000 to 200 now. Descriptions for where to obtain certain orchestrion roles in the orchestrion list have been changed. They added a lot of shit for Chocobo racing.
They sure did.
They said they were going to get more MGP.
Yeah, but when you hear that, you think there's going to be some stuff like this is half of the update.
Yeah,
or more.
Yeah, it was. There's quite a lot that's changed in here. Entry requirements: the challenge races will be available upon speaking with the Chocobo the race Chocobo registrar. Speak with the race Chocobo registrar in Chocobo Square and select your desired challenging race. There's a bunch of different challenge races, and
they're worth a lot of MGP.
They really are. I mean, the output is anywhere from 20,000 to 50,000, depending on the type of race. I mean, that's pretty significant.
This might get some people to actually do this.
Yeah.
At least to grind out that, I don't know, however many K that is.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive. I have to imagine that there are definitely some more people who, I don't know, want that turtle mount or something.
Fuck that turtle mount.
I hate that thing.
What is even in Gold Saucer that's good anymore?
Fenrir mount?
That's it?
I still don't have the dances because I've been spending all my MGP trying to get Zidane.
Cards.
You still don't have Zidane?
No, and guess what? The other day, Surin fucking goes and buys a gold pack on a whim, and guess what he gets?
Warrior of Light.
No, he got Zidane. Right, just out of nowhere. And I've spent, I guess I've got to be going on 2 million MGP by now. It's ridiculous.
You could have had 2 Fenrir mounts, Nika.
I could have, and I could have had the cloud card as well.
But you didn't.
Nope.
Between you playing FF11 and him getting the Zidane card, I don't know how if you two kids are going to make it. Starting to worry.
I don't know.
Special opponents will appear in each race. Challenges can only be cleared by placing higher than these special opponents. Players will be matched with other players and regular NPCs in addition to special opponents. Special racing opponents will be denotated by a unique icon next to their name, as well as a different colored nameplate. Multiple special racing opponents may be present depending on the challenge selected. In such cases, players must place higher than all special racing opponents to clear the challenge. So a bunch of race abilities have been added. If Chocobo Racing is something that you care about, we're not going to go through each of these point by point. You can check it out on the Lodestone. All of the info is there, but a lot of adjustments being made to Chocobo Racing. The amount of experience gained upon completing races has increased. The strength of NPCs has been reduced. The number of obstacles that appear during races has been reduced. Furthermore, the positioning of obstacles has been adjusted. When more than 2 new players are registered for a race, bonus experience proportionate to the number of participants will be added to the reward. The amount of experience and MGP received has been increased based on the length of the courses. The race item stamina tablet will now also restore a small amount of stamina when stamina is at 0. A special flying text message and graphical effect will be displayed when race abilities and items fail to activate, and a flying texting message will appear when activating the race ability Choco Reflect. There's a bunch of other stuff. Design of the stamina gauge has been adjusted to improve visibility. The color of names of the position of the match setting for the NPC display names, and the cutscene that displays at the beginning of each race can now be skipped.
Oh, that's probably really good.
It just saves a little bit of time there.
Some nice QOL stuff.
There's the MGP reward for the following activities in the Gold Saucer has been increased. Chocobo races, obviously. Lords of Verminion, yay. Gates and minigames.
The challenge log for playing Lords of Verminion 3 times, 10,000 MGP.
For 3 Chocobo races?
No, for 3 Lords of Verminion.
Lords of Verminion. Ooh.
You know why? Because there's only 4 total people on the server that were playing it. 4!
Yeah.
4. Somebody went and checked the leaderboards. There was only 4 people.
Oh, literally?
Literally only 4. I'm not even. It's not. I'm not.
You're not figuratively.
It's not figurative. I'm not trying to be a smartass or make a joke or make a crack at Lords of Verminion's expense. Somebody checked the board while we were live. We were on stream, and there were only 4 names on the board.
They're player haters.
How many games did they play?
I have no idea.
4.
That'd be interesting right there.
I have no idea.
That is flooring.
I know.
No, foring.
Anyway. MGP stuff has been changed a whole bunch. If you want to check that out, that's over at the Lodestone. And we also got some feast adjustments in here as well.
They added a QR code to your feast profile, to your PvP profile.
They did.
But why exactly?
Why not?
I have not quite figured out why.
Yeah, me neither.
Juxta, give us your take on why there's a QR code there.
So you can post your elite stats on the thing and be like, look, check out my QR, bro.
Gotta get that gamer score up. It's all in preparation for Xbox
This
One.
is esports, okay? Very important stuff.
But doesn't that mean you have to actually scan it on mobile? Don't most people just look at it on the PC? I don't know. That seems weird.
Well, you take your screenshot and post it somewhere where people read it, and then those people take their phones and scan it.
But what? Why?
Hang on.
That's easier than doing a link because.
Can I just say that?
Just click the link rather than getting my phone out of my purse. I'm not gonna do that.
Well, not everyone has purses, Nika.
Hang on.
In your pocket.
Are we just glossing over the fact that I've never had I've never had a QR code work for me ever? I've tried.
Have you tried recently?
Not recently, no.
Because there's QR codes in your receipts from Walmart, which I use to get money back on Ibotta, and it works really good. You're just oh, let's see, click. Oh, it's gotten already. That's how quick it is.
It's just it's a picture with black and white stuff on it. That's cool. My phone doesn't do anything with it.
Do you have an app for it?
I do.
Do you have a good app?
I don't know.
It?
I have no idea.
Try getting a new updated app.
Maybe.
So, for how many people are going to use this? Let's set the over/under on how many people are going to actually use this. Let's say at a nice random number 4, maybe 4 people. Do you think more or less than 4 people will use this QR code?
More.
Than 4 people?
Yeah,
4 people.
I think more than 4 will use it.
I'll find 5 people to do this for me, and I'll prove you wrong.
I don't know, man. It's I can't fit. Yeah, I don't understand. But anyway, in preparation for season 1 of the Feast, a button and a QR code linking to a rankings page on the Lodestone has been added to the PvP profile window under character in the main menu.
Okay, see, now this is just showing that Square Enix is trying to like pretend that they're really in trying to like make this esports thing real. Okay,
they're invested in PvP.
They are invested. They have a button and a QR code. Bam.
Wow.
Jesus, did you even try?
Yes, they did.
How?
Yes, they did.
How? I don't understand how companies think they're gonna try to work in on the esports angle or any of that. I don't understand it. It's very, very strange. Anyway, so some of the PvP actions have been adjusted. Somersault for Monk potency has been increased from 180 to 200. Recast time has been reduced from 90 to 60 seconds. Enhanced somersault recast time reduction has been changed from 60 to 40. For Bard Farshot got an adjustment. Potency has been increased from 170 to 200. Enhanced Farshot 2 increased potency has been changed from 200 to 240. For Ninja, Overwhelm got adjusted. Recast time has been reduced from 90 to 60 seconds. Enhanced Overwhelm recast time reduction has been changed from 60 to 40 seconds. And Ill Wind recast time has been reduced from 150 to 120 seconds. Ill Wind recast time has been reduced. Enhanced. Yes. Changed from 120 to 90 seconds. So there you go. Then
how about the exciting Dark Knight buffs?
Yes, Dark Knight potency for Tar Pit has been increased from 150 to 200. Recast time has been reduced from 180 seconds to 150. Enhanced Tar Pit recast time reduction has been changed from 150 to 120 seconds, and Enhanced Tar Pit 2 increased potency has been changed from 180 to 240. That's quite a
bump up.
That's quite a boost, I gotta say. And then Carnal Chill recast time has been reduced from 150 to 120 seconds. Enhanced Carnal Chill recast time reduction has been changed from 120 to 90 seconds. So that's what we're kind of looking at for all of the PvP action changes. Following adjustments have been made to improve the pace of combat. Winning condition for the Feast 8-on-8 matches has been changed from 1,200 to 1,100. Players will automatically be returned to their respective landing points 3 seconds after being incapacitated.
So does that mean they took raising out of it effectively? Is that what that means to say?
No, that just means so if you raise someone, you have to do it quicker.
Really quick? Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, and to be honest, you don't want to use like the spell raise because that gives you weakness. But there are healer abilities that are like instacast raise without weakness.
Oh, really?
PvP.
In PvP.
In PvP, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And let's see. The duration of invincibility after being returned to the landing point has been increased from 10 to 12 seconds.
No more camping the spawn.
I still camp it.
The following adjustment to supply boxes has been made to hasten the flow of combat. The HP of Adrenaline supply boxes has been reduced. There's been adjustments to some 4-on-4 matches as well. Additional offense kits will appear on the field after a certain period of time, and only one defense kit will appear on the field over the course of a match. For 8-on-8 matches, the number of offense and defense kits that appear at the start of a match has been increased. Additional Adrenaline kits, medicine kits, offense kits, and defense kits will appear on the field after a certain period of time. The portion of the barriers placed in the center of the map has been removed. The degree to which PvP ratings increase or decrease at the conclusion of a rated match has been adjusted. The PvP rating required to participate in promotion qualifiers for each tier has been adjusted, and display names for the Feast have added under the general tab of display name settings in the character configuration interface. Abbreviations for the class or job of allies and enemy players can now appear next to nameplates. That is a great change. That is, I mean, that needed to happen really quickly.
Yeah.
So, good.
So, see, this like kind of shows that Square Enix is trying to take an active approach at their esports game. So...
and to further improve matching speeds, language settings will be ignored when registering for the feast.
Good job.
Yay. The strength of the Echo granted in Alex Gordius Savage has been increased.
That seems really fast to add that already. But
Yep. It's
one's doing it.
Gone up to 15 now. The positions of the entrance in Alexander Fist of the Sun Savage and shortcuts have been adjusted. Do you have any idea what they're talking about, Nika?
Yeah, it's really funny. In A5S, when you clear Faust and the shortcut pops up to like skip to the boss, it was kind of like over to the side of the platform, and so when you'd respawn after a wipe, you'd just like run right past it.
Oh,
and so now they put
weird.
the shortcut literally like in the doorway, so you can't miss it.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
There you go.
So now the bads will maybe not be bad.
Yeah. There have been a bunch of item adjustments. Those are always fun to read right off the page. So they're so fun, in fact, that we're going to give you the opportunity to go read them on your own. They're available at the Lodestone. You can also find a link at our website, limitbreakradio.com. Some new achievements have been added. What's this chocobo? It's an interesting looking chocobo. Is that some chocobo barding that they added?
Yeah, that's the racing barding that you get for winning.
Oh, that's actually some kind of sweet looking barding right there, I gotta say.
Yeah, I like, in general, I tend to like the minimalist bardings just because they can, I feel like it does more.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. So there you go. That's most of 3.25 in a nutshell right there. And we're going to be interested to hear from you. We want to take your calls. Limit Break Radio on Skype or 810-515-8715 about 3.25. What did you think of the animal weapon step that was added? Too much? Too little? Did it leave you wanting more? Are you going to be bored till 3.3 now? So we're going to talk about all of that coming up here on Limit Break Radio. But a couple of other pieces of news. We had talked about this last week, and we got confirmation over this week that the 7-Eleven drink code promotion that's going on over in Japan, those codes are region locked.
Wah, wah.
Just so you know.
See, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
They did say that because there was a question about bringing those outfits over to America.
The Americas. The important place.
That's right. It's it'll happen. It'll go in the cash shop.
Yeah, $24 cash shop.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what? That's a good idea. I feel like they should just add some item, like a mount or something that's like super awesome, but just set the price point super ridiculous, like $80 or even $100.
Yeah, it's a piece of glory gear.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you know what? Not everyone should have it.
So we also got the April Fool's joke, Choco Go, which is like
an Uber for chocobos.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I thought the commercial was well done.
It was. I guess it was put together well, but it wasn't very funny at all. Like, that's the thing. It was just okay.
Yeah, they were literally. I felt like they were trying to play it up like it was a real thing rather than just saying, "Ha, it's a joke." Get it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, like everybody knows that all these companies do April Fool's jokes now, so it's not like they were actually trying to fool us.
Well, it's not about fooling people. It's about being funny and being like hamming it up and stuff.
Right?
Like,
yeah. I mean,
making it so blatantly obvious that it's a joke that it just wraps around to being funny again.
Right.
That's the kind of April Fool's jokes that are the best, not stuff that's like, oh, it could be real.
Yeah, like, do you remember that one year where Blizzard said that they were gonna introduce a panda race, and they were like, "Oh, don't worry, guys, it's just a joke." Oh.
All right, I've actually got the trailer pulled up. Why don't we take a look at this here?
Hold on, I thought you said this is audio only.
Well, this is easy to put on the
Final Fantasy XIV inspired Chocogo app is pioneering a new green energy alternative to transportation and bringing a truly progressive ride-sharing option to our customers on the street. We've partnered with the best scientists.
Man, look at all that B-roll.
I know, right?
To breed an exceptional fleet of chocobos.
Sid Shipman.
Our cutting-edge Chocogo app connects you to the nearest chocobo with a simple swipe. When you call on a chocobo, You can choose its color, play your favorite
That was
Final
funny.
Fantasy 14 music.
Clever.
You can choose to tip it.
I'm waiting to laugh. I haven't watched this yet, to be honest with you, but I knew.
Wait, how can you sit here and say it's not funny if you haven't watched it?
Because I knew. I'm watching it now. I'm not laughing.
Stop in your destination and enjoy the scenery.
Waiting to laugh.
He's a fun vacuum.
I feel like this would have been a lot better if they'd made this a playoff like Jurassic World or something like that.
It's supposed to be a playoff of Uber.
I know.
We get the
No, so like, how is
we
that
get
not
the
funny?
joke, Nika. It's not that
How
we
would
don't.
Jurassic World be funnier?
That's the joke.
No, what I'm saying is, how would Jurassic World be even funnier than? I don't get it.
And wherever you go, go green with one of our amazing chocobos.
Ugh.
It's over.
Ugh.
A lot of people in the audience look pissed.
Ugh. I don't know. That's too straight faced for an April Fool's joke.
Well, I like it because it seems so serious that like you'd think,
was
that, you'd think that they were
boring.
telling the truth.
Would it have worked if they had like had people dressed up as chocobos, like picking people up on the street?
No.
Would that have made it work?
That would have been
I'd
funny.
have laughed at that at least.
Especially if it was like cardboard feathers.
Yeah,
and
it's
they're,
like it looks
just
stupid.
awful.
Yeah, I'd have laughed at that at least.
No, okay.
Piggybacks.
Yeah, it was like piggybacking people around.
You want to hang on. First of all, they just straight up hijacked the joke right out of that. What is that animated movie that just came out with the bunny cop?
Zootopia.
Zootopia. Yeah, that was a trailer for Zootopia. They had their own version of a Uber commercial in that.
They did?
Yes, they did. So they just straight up ripped off the joke from Zootopia, but Zootopia did it way better and actually made it like funny and clever.
Well, Zootopia had the added bonus of it being animated, and they could do a lot more. But nevertheless, that's what I mean. Like they should have like gone over the moon with it. Just do something stupid with it.
They
if you're gonna
also
do that.
have an actual website, chocogo.me, and I felt like you actually bought a domain name for an April Fool's joke. I thought that was pretty over the top.
Oh,
You can go there and it tells you like all about it. And what I thought was clever is that if you click on like once you go to the website, there's a button that says Learn More, and if you click on that, it goes to FF14's free trial page.
Nika,
I thought that was clever.
Mika, did you write the joke? Did they contact you? Were you the writer? Are we trashing on your vision?
It's a clever way to have people, because the thing is I saw a lot of people sharing it who are just Final Fantasy fans and not necessarily Final Fantasy 14 fans, because that can go for any Final Fantasy game.
Okay,
right?
see, now
See if she's in the credits.
you're right.
See if she's in the credits. Look it up.
What? No. So then when people go to the website
Directed
and
by
they
Nika
click on it,
Kyanian.
then they go to the FF14 page and they'll want to play.
That would
It's
explain the
promotion
lack
for
of humor
game.
in it.
It's a promotion for the game. Shut up. I thought it was funny. But the Witcher one was funnier, I will say.
One last thing we wanted to mention. There was a post by one of the community reps on the Square Enix forums, the official forums, saying that during the Japanese PvP stream Adrenaline Rush TV, Yoshida explained that morale won't. And I gotta say, I hosted a show called Adrenaline. I feel like it's getting
you.
Yeah, you know.
Man, first they poached Nika off our staff, and now they're taking your name.
I know.
That was Power Man 5000.
I know. I at least have as much legal ground to get mad at Square Enix as Power Man 5000. You're right. The exact amount. Anyway, during the Japanese PvP stream Adrenaline Rush TV, Yoshida explained that morale won't take effect inside of the feast, and that the dev team is having trouble figuring out how they should move forward with the attribute. They are also considering removing it entirely. The dev team is continuing to look at it with thoughts such as making it so that morale doesn't directly make players stronger, but it does strengthen them in a different manner. That said, we would like to hear your comments and suggestions regarding morale so that the dev team can use them as a reference. Also, we would like to gather any feedback that you have after trying out the changes made in patch 3.25. So if you do have any suggestions for what Square Enix could or should do with morale, then you should probably be up on this thread. Just
delete it. You obviously can't fucking balance it with shit. So
They really can't.
Just get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
They really can't balance it. Kookie, nice enough to toss a link in the chat. Thank you, Kookie. If you want to submit your feedback, do it at that thread at the official forums. So let's talk about feast feeding, guys. This is a kind of a big topic. This has been a hot topic in the FF14.
Was it? I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well,
so maybe I missed out on this.
There's a lot of people that are pissed off about it. Yeah,
it's a big thing on the official forums and Reddit. So,
but I mean, do you have to do that in the ranked matches or is it in the unranked? Because if it's unranked, who gives a fuck?
A lot of people who want to play it.
Yeah, a lot of people who actually legitimately want to go in there and fight another team, not just have a team sit.
Gosh.
Wait. Do you get the same amount whether or not you win or lose?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought you got more if you won. So I thought you were like going in and letting like your friends.
Entire teams are going in and allowing basically allowing themselves
unequipping your gear
and
so
getting
you die
slaughtered
quicker.
Yep.
So you have a minute 30 queue time or a minute 30 turnaround times for your PvP match and getting 20 ESOs every 2 minutes.
What if both teams that go in want to do that? What happens? They just stand there?
Just have a bat off.
It's a
Lions versus the Browns.
It's a Mexican stand-up to see who will put on their gear first and attack. We also have the fabled Joe Never of PvP fame.
Oh, well, here we go. Joe Never joining us here on Limit Break Radio. Joe, thanks so much for calling in. Particularly curious to hear your thoughts on this topic. What do you feel about feast feeding, homie?
I think it's like the scum of the earth. Like literally the scum of the earth. I think, just personally, like, it's making a joke out of it, and I've been, since day one, like, I've been sending in reports, and I've been sending in like questions asking people to penalize people that are not taking it seriously, because if it's happening in solo queue, if people like a healer goes in, like, big shout out to Chesty McMellans. If you're going in on a solo queue and your healer doesn't want to play to get a faster time, and you don't have a team of 4,
right?
Then that's something that can completely wreck 3 other people's experience. But if you're going in and you're just doing it for lore, you're just doing it for ESO, like, it takes all the wind out of it. Like, you might have more people queuing, but you're just going to go in and give a win to somebody that may not get it. It's going to be an inflated stat for another group of people. So like, let's say you do get to bronze, you do get to silver, and then you're actually fighting silver people who are trying to fight. You're going to get wrecked. You're not going to have the experience that you need to actually face off at that level. So that sucks.
People are doing it in ranked matches. I feel like if you're playing a ranked match, you shouldn't just sit there. Like,
yeah, it's I just don't understand it. I saw it on Twitch. I forget who I was watching, but I saw it. Somebody like just going in and farming people that were feeding, and it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see it happen, and I don't want somebody to get wins like that. Like, it sucks, man.
Now
it sucks, and
this is really kind of the problem with attaching ESOs as a reward, or really any kind of tome reward outside of, like wolf marks to PvP, is that now you have a population that are going in there solely just to camp out their tomes. Right. And we had the same problem with Seal Rock. When it first came out and everyone was, just grinding it to cap tomes, we would have people like Hollow that would
just stealth and do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. But but when you in a system like that, if you have 1 or 2 people who are doing that, it doesn't really make that much of an impact. It might impact the way that who wins or whatever, but it doesn't impact the actual play experience of the rest of the team,
because there's 24 or 23 other people to carry your weight.
Exactly. In the feast, whether it be 4-on-4 or 8v8, you have 1 or 2 shitters in there.
There's a lot more personal responsibility in those modes. Now,
absolutely.
Yes. I have a question, Joe. Do you feel the same way when you have a pre-made team of 4 people going in to lose?
I feel worse. Like, I feel worse about it, because the way that I've been raised and the way that I play this game is if you if you want something, go out and go get it. You know, like that's it. If you want something, go out and go get it. PvP is made for PvPers. Like it's not specifically directed towards people who are farming lore. So for the people that are farming lore and ESO, whatever it is, like for them to exploit the system that was made for hardcore competition, I feel like it's just really disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like if you want to go get it, go spend the time and set your dailies up and go grind it like everybody else. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like there should be a system in place. This is actually one of the things that we've been talking to Square Enix about, saying like, hey, like you shouldn't get anything for a loss. And it's very harsh to say that, but for people to go in and still get benefits in terms of the wolf pup and also
I agree
the tomes, it doesn't make sense. Like to be able to get that large of an amount of tomes for a loss, it doesn't make sense when you're going in there. And honestly, the whole point of playing PvP is to win at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's really frustrating. I find it frustrating because it's not what it's meant to be.
Those farming tomes are always going to find the path of least resistance. What's going to be the biggest and fastest output. The sad, unfortunate state is that it happens right now to be PvP, and it happens to be these very quick feast matches where people are just going in there and throwing the match. The question is, okay, so this is what's happening. Obviously there are people who don't like it, but it's still continuing to happen. I don't think you're going to be able to sit down and make an ethical argument like you shouldn't do that. It is contingent now on Square Enix to respond. So what do they do now? I mean, Joe, you had put out a good suggestion there, not getting anything for a loss. That I think is right there a great way to kind of plug that hole. But looking at it, I mean, because this is really just kind of an extension of PvP win trading for, people wanted the rewards from grinding PvP ranks, and so they would go in and they would throw matches of Wolves Den. And that was a practice that was sort of, we never got a definitive, you can do this or you can't do this from Square Enix. There was just some people who did it, and it only affected PvPers, and it didn't affect the 85% of the game that wasn't plugged into PvP at that very, larval stage of PvP. So, but now we have a lot of people who are plugged into it. Square Enix has been funneling people into it through, tome rewards and through just making badass PvP events. And so now we've got this, we've got this what I would consider this seems pretty close to an exploit, that people are able to grind tomes that fast, and that there is no penalty for losing or for throwing a match like that. And so I'm kind of curious, what kind of other suggestions might you guys have to fix this? Does something like this end up spoiling it for the rest of us, and Square Enix just ends up taking out tome rewards from PvP altogether?
How much ESO do you get right now for doing it?
20.
Okay, make it 10 for a loss, 50 for a win.
I think
40 for a win.
I think just having a flat number isn't the way to go. I think if you're going to do this, you need to incentivize participation. You get seals based on, or lore based on what you do. If you're a tank, the more damage you take throughout the match, the more lore you get. If you're a deep, the more damage you deal, and if you're a healer, the more health you heal over the match, the more
that would reward healers whose tanks have shitty gear. That's not the way to go.
Yeah, I don't know that that's necessary. It would be proportional.
It would be really difficult to implement that.
It would be, but it incentivizes participation versus just showing up in the match.
It could just be based on action and stuff rather than like how much HP per capita or whatever.
However you want to do it. The point is you want to incentivize that the people actually play and participate versus incentivizing people to just queue up. Because right now that's all it is. All you have to do is queue up to get your 20 ESO. Or lore,
what's got to be incentivized is the W. That's what's got to be incentivized. It's got to be, the reason why I'm playing this is to have fun and effectively win, because that's what the point is. Like, what is the point if I'm going to go in and give a win? You know what I mean? Like, it's great. Thanks, guys. In terms of karma, you're doing good work. You know what I mean? Very altruistic.
Hey, let's not
the point.
Well, let's not split hairs there. Here, there are a lot of professional athletes who made a lot of money and made very good careers at professionally losing. So I mean,
but not
I don't want to see that in this game, man. I don't want to see that, dude.
Yeah, on purpose. There's all. I mean, look at the innumerable sports scandals that have happened over the years between boxing, baseball, all that kind of. There, people throw games all the fucking time, and it is. I mean, it's considered cheating, and it's considered scummy and unethical in professional sports.
Yeah, well,
and
people
I think
have been banned from their leagues for doing that.
Yes, and I think that it is also a fairly scummy practice within FF14 as well. Joe, I mean, I agree with you. I don't think I have as much of a dog in the fight for PvP as you do, but I get annoyed when I see that or when I hear about it, and I understand people's frustration with it for sure.
The bottom line is for me, like the things that would need to change if they were going to go that hard. Number one would be what you got if you lost, and that would need to be seriously dramatically reduced. Wolfmark's great, PvP experience great, you still get that, but
right.
to get those other things, even if it were 10, you'd still be getting 10 ESO in a minute and a half, 45 minutes, you're getting your whole week. You know what I mean? Like your whole freaking week in 45 minutes in under an hour.
Yeah.
It still,
right, but if you
still
get like 40 for
sense.
a win, it way more incentivizes wanting to win over losing, because you could do it in 4 times the time.
The whole point is that this demographic doesn't care about winning, so they'd only care about what they'd get for a loss.
Right,
so,
but a 10 versus 40 is a big difference. Like you could get it so much faster and then move on with your day if it was bigger.
You're talking about 90 minutes at this point. Like,
not necessarily. Yeah.
At the same time, like how fast what am I going to do, like 10 and a half matches, 12 matches for the week, and then I'll be capped on lore because of PvP? Like that's almost unfair for the PvPers to have that ease of winning, or ease of capping their lore. It's tough because looking at it both ways, the biggest thing is like the way Square Enix looks at stuff like this is, unless we can catch you in the act and you're doing something completely terrible, like not exploiting the system that we've created,
right,
then they're not going to do anything about it. Like even with the AFK healers, like even with bot healers, like they've literally said that it's not going to be a permanently bannable offense, and there's nothing that we're going to do about it.
Right.
But there has to be some type of penalty in place. I think that there literally has to be some type of penalty, and there has to be some type of system that goes about like looking at this stuff. Like a GM has to be, or several GMs have to be watching PvP, and they have to be serious about it. They have to allocate the resources to say, like, is this person doing it correctly? And if they're not doing it correctly, we need to pull them aside and warn them and threaten with a penalty, because if not, then it's just going to keep going on and no one's going to do anything about it.
I don't know, Joe, I don't know that I agree with you that that's the answer, because that's a lot of enforcement, and I don't think that
it may not be the answer. It may not be.
Yeah, it just feels like a lot of resources that Square Enix would be throwing at the problem at that point.
Right.
I think that it needs to be a systemic change. It needs to be something within the system that they change. Something, whether it's the reward output or something else. I don't know what.
You can't incentivize losing. That's really what it is, because you can incentivize because it's easy to lose the feast. It is like you say, the path of least resistance. It is no resistance. Queue up. 4 people. You're done. Sit still.
It would be like, if you guys got 5 lores per death in AS5, like, come on. Like, I mean, it's like the same type of principle. If you guys went in and died over and over and over again.
I can tell you right now, though, that since I'm like fairly average at my PvP skill, if I knew that if I lost I would get nothing, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, there's so many people right now that are bad at PvP, but they still want to.
I still want to play, and I still want to try to win. But if I know that if I lose, I get nothing.
Okay, exactly. You don't want to throw away all your time, so that's going to like reduce the amount of people that's going to queue up, which is going to make the queues that much longer, and then make PvP not even worth it, even for the PvPers.
Now you're not.
Is 8-man not a system for that? Like, can you not play 8-man and get enjoyment out of that?
Well, you can, but I like to mix it up.
Well, and not just that. Okay, but like that's. I sort of feel like you're not wrong, okay? But you're trying to balance 2 shitty situations. You're trying to balance maybe disincentivizing new people from queuing for PvP versus this problem here where we've got squads of people going in and throwing games, and when that happens, literally nobody benefits. Like, from a PvP system standpoint, people are getting lore, people are getting the thing that they want out of it, right? But the system isn't benefiting. Nobody's learning, Nobody's actually playing the system as it's being designed. So I would much rather have less people queuing that are more interested in learning the system and learning the game than having a squad of 4 or 8 people queuing up and just wrecking the game for the other 4 or 8 people that queued up on the other side.
I disagree with that because we've seen that before, and when you don't really incentivize people to play it, even if they lose, then PvP just stagnates and it dies, and then nobody ever does it. I mean, we've seen that with the Wolves Den right at the start of it. No one did it.
But that was kind of a product of Wolves Den not being particularly fun.
Yeah, I don't know that you can count Wolves Den entirely in that because it was the first iteration of PvP. There were a couple of missteps with that, and they've since adjusted them. And see, the thing is I think that if you took away the tomes from a loss, that is still perfectly valid. Valid because the reason that people were queuing up for Seal Rock so much was because of the roulette. You had the addition of the PvP roulette thrown in there, and you got those bonus tomes out of it. People would just queue. I feel like most people queued up for one PvP roulette after we moved on from grinding ESOs, right? Like after we moved on from camping ESOs and that being the fastest way to do it. Most people just queued for PvP roulette once a day, and that was it.
Yeah, I would say that proves my point because, like, right before we got the feast, how long were frontline queues?
Because you were waiting on so many people.
Yeah, well, it was super long and it took forever. And I mean, I stopped doing it after it took 20, 30 minutes for a frontline.
Also, the other thing that you're not considering is that those are segregated by city. All of those matches are segregated by city, and you're queuing up with only people who are in your city. And so, therefore, whatever city you're allied to, that will determine your queue times. This is independent of that. There's 2 sides. There's not 3 sides. You're not queuing up with only your nation's, your fellow nation people. Yeah, Grand Company folks. You know what I mean? Like that, I think that throws a bit of a variable in there where you can't quite go, well, since it did this for Seal Rock, it's going to do this for the Feast. I don't think you can make that jump.
I mean,
go ahead, dog.
No, I was just saying, like, what's more toxic at this point is like you might discourage some people who don't really care about PvP from trying it if you disincentivize losing. But if you keep it this way, you might discourage your actual PvPers.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah,
people you want to maintain.
You're destroying the system for the people who care about it and for people who are just coming in to experience it for the first time. It ruins it for everyone.
The point along the lines of the way I'm thinking is like there will always be a PvP community, whatever size. There will always be people that want to play PvP. In addition to that, from new systems and things like that, like you may have people that are getting interested, and there are avenues for people to get interested and get the information they want and become good at PvP if they want, on Twitch, on YouTube, on websites, and PvP Reborn and FFXIV PvP and things like that. But like, for me, the way that I look at it and the way that Square Enix looks at it, I think along the same lines is like if there's an issue with raiding, it's affecting the raiding population. If there's an issue with PvP, it's affecting the PvP population. There's this tough gray area, and there's a line where like more people are being considered than the actual core of who the content is designed for at this point in time. So it's like how much concern should Square Enix be putting into getting those new people and getting them involved in PvP exactly when the core is suffering? Like the core suffers from group allocation. The core suffers from how they're going to get, like, especially during ranked matches, in solo and in 4v4, how those groups are getting, how many groups are queuing. Like, I'll tell you this, like the greatest group in the world in North America, the greatest group, the number one, the first set of diamond tier 4v4 players have transferred from Aether Data Center to Primal Data Center to avoid this from happening right now. Like, they have left the Aether Data Center because there are so many people feeding in the feast. They've gone over to Primal to get matches and continue to play. There are not as many people doing it on Primal. So, like, it's astounding to me. Like this, you've got the strongest one of the strongest 4v4 teams in North America leaving their freaking server and going to another data center,
resetting their PvP rankings too, by the way. When you move servers, doesn't that reset? Only when you change your grant company. Oh, okay.
Okay, now hold on. So are you saying that these diamond ranked players are getting queued up against people who presumably are not ranked or even bronze?
If you go in, and the way that the queue works is, if you're diamond and you're going for 4v4, like I could go in and get ranked with a diamond team right now, like completely get destroyed. If they're in the queue and I'm in the queue and we're the only people in there, completely wrecked and destroyed and farmed. And that's honestly, like, at the end of the day, it's almost like I'm feeding, because my team will usually never have the experience that team has. But that's the only place in the game where I will get the experience that I need to get better, is when I'm going up against a team that's incredibly better than me. You know, so for somebody like me, where I want to get better, I don't care whether I get a tome or a freaking point or a wolf pup. Like, I'm going in for the PvP experience, and I'm going in to increase my skill as a player. How am I going to adapt to a team that knows everything that I'm going to do, and how can we try to pull out a W that way? You know, like that's what I get excited about when I go play PvP. Like, I don't get excited about the extra stuff. That's just great. Okay, cool, icing on the cake. But when I go in for PvP, I go in for a battle. I go to find out how I can be a better player, how I can be more effective to my teammates, and progress and learn. That's the reason why I play. You know, like that may not be the same reason why, you know, everybody else is exploiting right now.
Right, but my question was, the highest ranked people are getting queued up against people who aren't playing. Like, to me, that's a problem with the matchmaking system.
Well, how the hardest part is how.
If the highest ranked people are just going up against people who have like the same rank as them, then they should never encounter this.
Well, you're talking about because their ranking got reset when they changed servers, right?
Well, no, they didn't.
If all of the highest ranked 4v4 teams all queued up at the exact same time, then they would most likely get ranked up with each other. However, if one team is queuing and then you've got a team of like brand new, and they're the only people in the queue,
they're
going to get matched up.
There's not enough people who are platinum ranked in the system to be able to queue up with only other platinum ranked people, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, then that's a problem with like how people rank up then, because obviously there's just not enough people at high enough ranks to make the matchmaking system work.
That's part of.
That's why they made the adjustments. That's why they made those last adjustments to the ranking systems, to make it easier for people to get up higher in ranks. It doesn't take as much to get up high.
Okay, see, now this is my thing. Like, all defeaters presumably have no interest in PvP whatsoever, so they should stay at no rank or bronze rank. So they should just stay at the bottom and feed people to pass bronze or even up to a silver rank, and then at that point it shouldn't be a problem anymore, because all the feeders will just keep feeding other feeders, and then people who are good enough to beat the feeders shouldn't have to play them anymore. Like, this to me is a matchmaking problem.
Yeah, but and it leads to artificial rank inflation too, because now you have
is that a bad thing?
Well, you have teams now that are at a silver rank that don't have the skills to be there, being matched with other teams that did legitimately work at the silver rank, that are just going to get fucking destroyed up and down
because they're effectively bronze.
They need to get good then. Then obviously that silver rank should be a gold rank or whatever. I mean, if there's enough people playing the PvP, then the matchmaking should sort itself out. If the matchmaking is a good enough algorithm.
Fair enough, but throwing matches like this is a problem. I mean, it is something that Square Enix needs to that they need to address in some form or fashion.
They can't really address it though, short of like change the rewards, because like even if so they ban everyone who's naked and not doing anything. Okay, then I'm just gonna wear all my gear and I'm gonna run to the center and just start casting AoEs.
It's either a enforcement issue where they have to have people who are enforcing this case by case, which I don't think they have, or it has. That's why I said I think it has to be a systemic adjustment where they're de-incentivizing that style of play. And it may turn some people off from the PvP system, but this kind of stuff will ruin the event up and down. They have to do something. They can't do nothing. They can't do nothing.
Adjustments have to be made. I think many different adjustments have to be made on different angles. Like, it can't just be one thing. Okay, this is the solution. It's going to be something that changes over time, because obviously right now it's being exploited and it's not. People don't like it, and the only population that's benefiting from this is not a PvP population. So it's obviously a toxic. It's definitely a cancer to the community right now. So,
well, thanks for calling in, Joe. Twitch.tv/Joe Never Fails. Make sure you check him out and hang out with him when he goes live. Of course, expert in all things PvP. We appreciate your perspective on this, man.
Hell yeah, guys. Great to call in. Always good to talk to you guys.
Take it easy. If you want to call, we want to hear from you. We don't just want to hear from experts. We want to hear from you, the average player to FF14. Limit Break Radio on Skype or 810-515-8715. Our producer, Kooky Persona, is hanging out and screening our calls today. You'll be able to talk to Kooky for a couple of moments before she passes you along to us in the studio. But we really do want to hear from you. We realize that this is, that there's a lot of perspectives on this issue.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's a lot of comments. We've got a Reddit thread here that is topping almost 200 comments on this very topic alone.
Oh, come on. We all know that Reddit only has pictures of cat girls on it. There's never any discussion.
If you want to sound off on this, we'd like to hear from you. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715. If you missed it earlier, if you're one of those almost 100 people that coming in a little bit late to the show, we are running the show. We're having to run the show in audio-only mode today. My computer blew up and was not able to restore all of the settings in time, much less get FF14 installed in time. So we are having to run the show in audio-only mode. We apologize that the visuals are a little bit boring, but you know what? We're a podcast anyway. Figured we'd soldier on and just do it. So this was a post from the official forums from community rep Zexos, who says, we are aware that users are engaging in this type of behavior when talking about PvP win trading, feeding. And we are aware of that users are engaging in this kind of behavior, and we will be taking action against those found to be taking part in it. If you encounter this type of activity, we ask that you please report it via the in-game support desk. It's at System Support Desk Report Harassment. And please include as much information as possible in your report. While we cannot release individual results regarding investigations we conduct, you can rest assured that we take this seriously, and we will be looking carefully into each report we receive. So right now, Square Enix is taking the approach of enforcement. I don't think that that's a very long-term viable approach to this problem.
It's like
it's just not going to solve anything.
No, it's not.
Because all this is going to do is going to make the feeders be like, okay, so not to get caught, I'm going to run forward, play terribly, and then die, and maybe it'll take 2.5 minutes. I mean, you're going to cast arrow on everything you see and just spam that, and, oh, I'm just a bad player and I'm not good at PvP. That's their argument. And are they wrong? I mean, how are you going to say, no, like, at this point, like, if they try to like enforce people who are just really bad at PvP, like you're gonna like penalize people who might actually legit be bad at PvP and bad at the job. I mean, we've seen black or ice mages who just cast ice in dungeons. Are you gonna enforce them for player harassment?
That's totally fair. That's why I'm saying it's got to be a systemic adjustment. It's got to be a system side change where they de-incentivize this type of behavior.
Yeah, it's like League of Legends has dealt with this shit for years. They've had the same problem, and they're trying to do the enforcement strategy, but there's only so much you can do. You only have so many resources. SE already complains about not having enough resources. They don't have a team to dedicate to this shit.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right. They really don't have a team to dedicate to this. And it's not like as players we can sit down and demand that kind of action. That's unreasonable. That's totally unreasonable.
For a game that's not built around this PvP, absolutely.
Totally.
It's one thing to tell Riot to do this. That's what your game is.
But so many people now are saying that like the Feast was a great addition to this, and that they're like even people who don't like PvP like this. Mm-hmm. You think now that they would want to put more people to focus into this?
Absolutely, but I still like the kind of resources you have to dedicate to actually enforcing like player behavior in this is massive.
Exactly. Not just that, but I mean, like, think about, think you get sometimes erroneous reports. People who are just mad at another person, and they just file a report to to try to get them in trouble. There's got to be steps that Square Enix takes to be able to verify each one of these actions and each one of these reports.
That guy died 6 times. He must be a shit feeder. Report.
Exactly.
Like, okay, maybe he just sucks.
We're going right back to the guild work botting issue, where we had people who were early pulling on hunts, and immediately those people were labeled as botters and guild work. You've got the app. You're a cheater. All of this other shit. It's the same. It's just an extension of that sort of mentality and that sort of attitude. And so that's why, that's why I keep saying it's on Square Enix. It's got to be on the system side that we see the adjustment, because trying to enforce it is going to be way too much for Square Enix to manage.
Way too much work for basically no payoff.
Why can't they incentivize the levels, the tiers? The very bottom tier gets no reward, but you get bronze, you get a little bit more. Diamond, you get even more.
Well, it's because no one's doing it for the end of season like ranking. All they're doing it for is their ESO.
Right.
That's what I mean. Don't give them any ESOs.
I don't disagree.
Oh, you mean until bronze? Oh, okay.
Oh, until you hit silver, you can't earn any ESO.
Exactly.
Well, now feeders just gonna have to work to get to their rank and then feed.
But you can lose rank though.
But you rank down.
Yes, you rank down when you lose.
Except, I don't think you rank down at bronze. I think that's the lowest you can go.
Yeah, don't give any output on bronze.
Yeah, silver.
Okay, so I have to get all the way to fucking silver before I get any reward out of this? Yeah. I'm not going to fucking do that as a casual PvPer. That's way too much work.
Same with me. Like, I'm very casual PvP, but I enjoy it. But, like, if I know that I'm not going to get ESO till silver, again, why bother?
I don't know if you are a casual PvPer. You're a casual tome earner. You don't care about the PvP.
Okay,
without the reward.
I enjoy PvP, but if I have to put in 10, 20, 30 hours into PvP before I see any reward out of it, I'm not going to go through all that effort. And I enjoy PvP.
But it's like the rest of the game. You're putting all these hours into it and you're getting shit out of it.
Yeah, I'm getting shit out of it right from the start.
But it's not like you're not getting wolf marks. It's not like you're not getting PvP XP.
But again, nobody really cares. Unless you care about glam, no one cares.
This coming from the guy who says glamour is the true end game.
I know, and it's
you
shitty.
Cunt.
It looks shitty.
The newest stuff is
actually a lot of
the older stuff is good.
A lot of the PvP gear looks fantastic.
Yeah, the older stuff looks good, and that costs $400 for a body.
I'm just saying there's no rewards that you would get out of bronze.
Well, okay, but it's going to take me 5 matches to get the full set of the gear that actually looks good. With that, it doesn't require any PvP rank anymore, by the way.
It doesn't.
I mean, it's not a bad look, Woody. I'm trying to give you a little bit of.
I'm poking holes in your shit because you suck.
It's not a bad suggestion.
We got Crimson Tintin on the line who also wants to talk PvP.
Hey, what's up, Crimson? Welcome to Limit Break Radio.
Hey guys, thank you for having me on the line here. I really love your show and love what you do here.
Thanks.
So I appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate you calling in. What's up?
So here's the thing, right? And I've been hearing this in the forum post on feeding repeatedly. It's played out in discussion here today. Whenever this subject of feeding comes up, people come up with one solution that they favor. Somebody else comes up with another solution they favor. Mm-hmm. They go back and forth on the pros and cons of the single solution. Do this or do this or do this. I don't think you're going to get away with, like Joe was saying earlier, incremental single changes that are going to fix it over time, right? I really don't believe that. Like, if you just de-incentivize the rewards, if you just tweak the matchmaking, if you just, go heavy moderator ban hammer, I don't think any single thing is going to work. I think you have to take 2 of those things at least and release it at once. Do the reward reduction at once, do the improvement to the matchmaking algorithm at once. Take your hit to your PvP community now before it completely dies.
Yeah,
that's sort of my take on it.
That's a good point, and I think I think that's what Joe was also going for, is that a bad event like this can really just collapse your entire PvP community from the inside out. And the Square Enix has done a good job at getting new players to experience PvP, getting players who wouldn't normally queue for PvP to at least experience PvP and know what is there. They've done a good job at getting PvP as an event penetrated into the player's consciousness, right? So they can't, if they break the system, they really break that community that's really plugged into it. In the same way, when they kind of broke rating, we're still feeling the effects of that. So they need to do what's best right now for the PvP community and not what's best for getting people to queue for the feast. We got people to queue for the feast. People know what is involved with the feast. It's not about getting people to try it anymore. If it's not a part of your daily rotation to queue for, fine. But it's going to be for some people, and that's fine too.
They've gotten those people who tried the feast because of what it had to offer, and they say, you know what, this is awesome, I'm gonna do it, I'm into it, this is my thing now. You've gotten those people, like you say. Now you can't just keep saying okay, we're just gonna keep incentivizing people who don't really care about PvP to keep doing it.
Right.
You need to now work towards keeping the people who do like PvP.
They need to add some kind of roulette to maybe a roulette you can do 3 times for the feast to keep people into it if they do something that's gonna disincentivize losing, because otherwise they're gonna lose a lot of people and it's gonna die off what I think. But if they can make a roulette to just help push people going into it, that'll do a lot to keep their player base.
He might be right there, like a feast roulette or something where it puts you into one of the different kinds of the feast that you can go into, or something like that. Where
even just 4v4 solo queue,
right? Or for that, where even if you do that, you still would get the roulette bonus even if you lose, but you can only do that once or twice a day. That way, you don't have parties grinding out their whole of their E so that they can earn that way.
Right. Well, and I think. Go ahead.
Sorry. What if this is something I just thought of? What if you put 4v4 solo queues and you make an unranked version of that and move the ESO rewards that we have now to the unranked version of that, thus keeping the feeders entirely out of ranked because they have no incentive to be there anymore by tomes? I feel like that would be a quicker fix than anything.
Separating ranked and unranked more in that way, putting the tome rewards in unranked and having ranked be there purely for the people who actually care about competing in PvP isn't a bad idea, actually.
Now, Corinne, one of the things I think that contributes to the shape of this discussion, why people go, just do this, is because on a whole, people were really satisfied with the feast. I think people really like the feast. As players, I think that there was a significant part of not just the PvP population, but regular, PvEers that was I can do this. This is
there
not.
Definitely are.
Yeah, this is not a time investment like Seal Rock is, or even queuing for my PvP roulettes, because those take so friggin' long that this I can do very, very quickly. And get to the other side of in and out. And I mean, honestly, I feel like I didn't even notice that I got tomes for losing. I didn't notice. I had no idea that I got tomes for losing, because I went in there and I was concentrating on having fun and doing the event. So if they took tomes away from losing, I don't think I'd be out of that queue pool.
Because it's still fun to do.
It's still fun to do, and I'm in there to try to win anyway. So it's not like a loss is still. It makes sense to me to de-incentivize a loss inside the Wolves Den. But anyway, Krim, the thing that I was saying was, I think the reason people only say you can just do this, one little tweak, is because the rest of the system is working so well that they don't want to see the entire system fucked by a whole bunch, overchanging. You know what I mean?
Right.
Square Enix releases good PvP. In other news, pigs fly.
Right.
See, to me, the people that are talking to chat about, moving a 4v4 to unranked to putting the tomes there, basically licenses feeders. What if you had a branch condition, right? What if you said 4v4 ranked Win equals more tomes than you can get by losing unranked, and loss is nothing. And then unranked is small amounts we have today, or maybe a reduction in the amount we have today.
Well,
then you're not sanctioning it per se, but you're incentivizing the ranked people, you know?
Right. I don't think you want to give too much of a bonus on a win, though, because, I mean, I don't know about you, but after I'm done capping tomes, I'm like, I don't really have anything else to do. You know what I mean? Like, for as much as I like those systems, if I got the reward too quickly, I'd be out of the game. Like, I'd be tuned out of the game. So there does need to be a grind element in there, and I don't think that bonuses for wins is the best way to do it. I think a more hefty penalty for a loss would be a better option. Then you're still having people needing to grind the feast, or just grind PvP or whatever they're grinding, but it doesn't over incentivize. It doesn't give, and I think Joe had touched on this. It doesn't give PvP players an unfair advantage when it comes to that tome sprint.
Yeah, 10 matches and you've got your cap for the week. You could be done in an hour.
Absolutely. Krim, thank you so much for calling Limit Break Radio. We really appreciate the perspective. If you'd like to call Limit Break Radio, it is Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715. We're gonna continue to talk about feast feeding, if that's what you'd like to call up and talk about. But I'd also like to talk about the Anima. The most recent Anima step that was added with 3.25.
Yeah, big news.
Blow it out your ass.
So we had spent some time speculating about what exactly we were going to get with this. I had said that there was probably going to be at least 2 steps with this. Wrong was I.
So wrong.
So wrong. We now are getting item level 230 weapons from this latest quest edition. 1 quest, by the way, and only requires 5 items. Right?
Yeah, 5 items.
5 items that you can purchase. You can purchase one of these items with either 1800 lore.
Yep.
1800. Yeah, lore.
No, not lore.
Fuck.
ESO,
what?
right?
ESO. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Asshole.
The 1800 ESO, which is why people are
grinding ESO.
Grinding the feast. Which that's another thing is that I actually get really tired of this defense too. Is that, oh, well, people are only going to do this as long as they're farming their Anima step. It's the only reason that they're doing this right now.
It's kind of true, but I feel like with how big the grind is for the Anima step, like it's a fun way to get the ESO rather than the boring way of like grinding dungeons and shit.
Yeah, no,
it is a fun way if you're trying and the other team doesn't just throw the game.
Well, fuck. I mean, if you're throwing the game, then you're just grinding that much faster, man. Come on. Everybody wins.
You are what's wrong with the world.
You know what?
Immediate gratification.
Everybody wins. Everyone gets their ESOs.
No, nobody wins.
Yeah.
What?
Except you, apparently, who gets your 20 ESO.
I feel like instead of that FF14 tattoo that you got, you should have gotten the entitled tattoo that Jimmy from Grand Theft Auto has. I think that would have been a more fitting tattoo for you.
I don't get the reference. I'm sorry. Is it like something, like, is it like an alligator getting fed or something?
Calling you entitled is what I'm
Should have gotten like a bro sale advertisement on his back.
Anyway, so yeah, there's that whole argument out there that people are only doing it as long as they're farming Anima, which there is some truth to, but I think is still a shitty justification for the practice. But anyway, all right. So with 3.25, we got this new Anima step. You need 5 items. You can either purchase them with 1,800 ESOs, or you can get one of them by doing the Crystal Tower reset quest.
The weekly reset.
The weekly reset quest. Which
it's nice and that's cool that they're going back there, but 5? That's it.
That's it.
FYI, it's
I feel like that's probably because they're doing another upgrade in 3.3. Like, it's really fast.
Yeah, but I got 2 in a day. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like 5? Really?
Guess what? I'm already 60% done with this quest line already, and it's been 4 days, 3 days.
Like that's the thing is I know exactly how much I have to do for it, and I am so not.
I could have got this shit done in a single fucking day if I wanted to, but because it's so short, I don't even feel like I need to do
exactly. Yeah. It is. That's a great.
I feel that way too.
That's actually a great point, Chucksta, and I totally agree with this. Is that it's so short? I do not feel motivated to work on it at all.
It's kind of the procrastination thing. Like, the time requirement is minimal, so I'll just do it at the last minute.
Exactly. Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
And even then, like, you also have to do Crystal Tower once a week, which is horrible non-issue. So guess what? Even if I don't even want to farm ESOs, I'm still going to have my relic done in 5 weeks, period.
Right.
And guess what? You don't have to be on that step. In 5 weeks, this step is done no matter where you're at with it.
Yeah, because you just
you get it anyway.
Yeah, because you just get the item for doing the repeat quest.
Yep.
So I don't think that they did this step very well. I think they did
very poorly.
They did the last step really well. This one is just such a throwaway.
You know what they needed to do? They need to have 2 steps. They need to have the 210 go to 220, and that could be this step.
Yep.
And then 220 to 230, and have it something like the 80 items that we had last time.
I agree. I totally agree. I feel like they phoned it in. They did half the fucking quest work.
I don't even know, like, is it really even phoning it in? Like, this is just a huge misstep, because, like, how much effort is it to design a quest? Of the relic quest. How long does it take them to do it? Seriously.
Not that long. I mean, all you're doing is collecting items. There's some flavor text for the quest NPCs. That's about it.
I mean, this was obviously a deliberate plan on Square Enix's part, but I don't know why or how they thought this was a good idea.
Well, the one good idea in there is to tie the weekly Crystal Tower quest.
No, that's great.
That's great. Funneling people back into Crystal Tower, those 3 raids,
needed. Yes.
Totally needed, and a lot of fun. Like, we did those on reset day.
Just smash the fuck out of it.
It was so much fun. We had so much fun. We were crying laughing from I think we had 3 wipes on.
Well, I wasn't there, unfortunately. But
what's his name?
You wiped?
Yeah.
Who did you wipe on?
Crystal Tower Chicken. Come on, guys.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Actually, that cast is super fast now. Ancient Flare Chicken. It's
it really is.
It's really fast. Like, it's they added some stakes to that game
because we couldn't run back fast enough because we were DPSing the ad, and then we were like went to go hit the boss. We're like, wait, shit, and we wiped like 3 times.
Yeah. So that's I think out of this step, that is the only good decision that I could say that Square Enix made.
Yeah,
is tying that weekly quest to an item output. But I think
specifically that they tied it into the weekly quest too,
Yes.
because if you could just grind those over and over again, people would hate it.
Yeah.
But doing it once a week for the quest is fine.
Oh yeah, it's great. I think that there was a serious misstep on either the number of items that you need, or they needed another step.
I feel like if they had made it like 20 oils, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
For the amount of time between now and 3.3, 20 would be probably closer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really does. It does shoot your might and gear weapon, your law weapon.
Yeah, the lore weapon.
Weapon. That's it. Thank you.
Because it's 230. So now before you can even get your Maiden your Maiden gears,
you can just put all the work into grinding a whole bunch of ESO and get your relic up to 230.
But again, we did point out that not as many people have completed the previous step in order to do so. We talked about that last week.
I still disagree with that. I think it is on par with where the relic was the first, the 2.0 relic, and unless I see numbers from Square Enix, I don't know that I can believe that.
Yeah, I say fuck you to that.
I can tell you in terms of people I've done endgame raids with, or I've done Sephiroth clears with, and stuff like that. I've physically seen less people that care about endgame.
You know what?
Anecdotal evidence.
To those people, I say fuck you. If you're fucking raiding, then you need to put forth the fucking effort to get your relic done. End of discussion.
But the thing is, the way that they do relics in this game, if another weapon in this game is of equal value, why bother with a grind? Especially if you're just raiding.
Yeah, if you're
why
doing
bother
raiding,
with
like,
a casual grind?
would the relic
if you
be the
don't
best
wanna waste
weapon to
your
have?
time?
No, it wouldn't.
No, so why would you go after that?
The raid weapon always outclasses.
Right.
Because that's your fucking main. Have some job pride for a change.
Okay. Yeah, because if there's anything raiders are known for, it's pride in the job they play. Which jobs do you play again, Nika? All of them? That's right.
No, I play Paladin and Monk mostly.
Yeah, you really stuck by Paladin when it was tough.
I did, actually.
I seem to remember you leveling warrior.
Because I level everything. Do you see my jobs right now?
Well, no, because we can't get online.
I seem to recall you taking it to raid too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I seem to remember you complaining that your paladin or your warrior is weaker than your paladin because of your weapon choice. And your,
because of the weapon choice?
Because of your ESO purchases.
No, it was weaker because of all of the shit that there was nothing. Paladin couldn't DPS, and then they fixed that, and now Paladin can do good DPS. Has nothing to do with its weapon.
No, I'm calling you a job hopper, Nika. Because you're complaining that your warrior wasn't as good as your paladin because
trader.
Because of your ESO purchases.
Dun 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 dun.
No, not to say that.
Calling you out.
That's because all the gear was job specific.
I know.
I couldn't buy anything that's different. Like I think you're just stretching right now.
I mean, you definitely did. You definitely did switch to warrior for a while there.
Only because Paladin sucked, not because of my ESO tome purchases.
No, but the joke still stands. We've spent now 5 minutes talking about a punch.
Just so you know, the joke is this. Let me explain it for 5 more minutes. Anyway, we got Lee Fawn, who also wants to, looks like, complain about the anima stuff.
All right, Lee Fawn, what's going on? Welcome to Limit Break Radio. Thanks for calling in, dude.
What's wrong with being a job hopper?
Coward! Hey, what's up?
Not much. And now I'm going to be the only person that has said this in the history of Final Fantasy XIV, but can we get books again?
Fuck you.
No, that is not the answer, you bad person.
Actually, the only thing wrong with books was the fact that we had to wait for those fates that never popped.
Yeah, the fates
Otherwise, books were a good idea. You could do them at your own pace. You could do whatever you wanted.
Yeah, books weren't terrible.
Fuck books. I hated killing 100 fucking mobs, of which, guess what? There's only 3 spawns in the entire zone, and guess what? Everyone else is killing the exact same fucking mobs. Fuck books.
Well, I didn't say, like, point for point. You could switch out the fates for the hunt mobs, because most of the zones in Heavensward, aside from maybe Hinterlands and Azith Law, are pretty much dead now. Everybody's done the crystal step. Anybody that hasn't is probably just going to actually get the old one. In my opinion, it was easier. I went from start of my monk relic all the way to Zeta, and I did it faster than I farmed my crystals.
I think you could go into each Heavensward zone, fly around, and probably see maybe a dozen people out in the world. Maybe.
You're being kind of generous, Aniro.
Everyone else is in Isleshire. That's it.
Yeah.
That's totally it.
Okay, to be fair, some people without houses hang out in Foundation in the Jeweled Corsair for the market board.
Well, they're wrong.
Fuck you! I don't have a house, and I don't have a market board, so I have to hang out in the Jeweled Corsair, okay?
But okay, so I don't think books is a very good answer. But so Lee Fawn, how did you feel about the anima step that we got?
It was too fucking easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even have my anima yet because I lost interest at about 20 items. But I'm already sitting on 3 oils. I mean, come on.
You're gonna get those oils before you get your items. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
This is a gimme.
It is. It's totally a gimme. It's really disappointing.
But it's right on par with the whole expansion.
You're not.
Letdown.
Yeah, Woody, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Although I feel like it was just some decisions that they could have made to make it better.
Bad decisions.
They really are. Now the only really kind of redeeming factor here, or the only thing that Yoshida has going for him, or the only thing that I'm willing to give Square Enix at this point, is that they said that they're also adding relic steps in 3.3.
Right.
So, we knew that was coming, but to get a 20 eye level increase with only one quest, it really does feel like development laziness.
Well, it kind of cheapens like all the effort you go through to get your usual 10 levels. Usually you go through way more work for only half the reward.
Yeah.
It kind of cheapens that.
I agree. I totally agree.
It's not. I don't call it developer laziness because to make a relic quest is super fucking easy because they're so boringly grindy. So this was a deliberate design decision, and it's a bad one. Like, I can't get over how bad this decision is. How long do we have before 3.3?
Oh, that's a great question.
We have no idea.
I'm gonna say.
I'm sure like a month, maybe 2 at least.
Yeah, at least a month.
Like,
Yeah, the relic quest itself probably isn't the problem. It's just the number of oils that you need. Like it is a relic quest when you look at it. It's a prototypical relic quest. Just the number is so low that you're like,
the number is wrong.
Yeah, the number's wrong. That's what it is.
It has to be like 10 at least. If they were gonna do like a 2-parter quest where like 210 to 220 and then 220 to 230, it had to be either 2 things or like at least 20 oils or something.
It is a very confusing jump. It is a very because it's really not. It's not justifiable. Is the problem? Is that they like that's a fucked up quest structure. Like it's just in terms of like when you go through this linearly, it's going to be fucked up.
Yeah. Gosh.
I don't know, man. It's disappointing. Leafon, thank you very much for the call. We appreciate you calling into Limit Break Radio. You want to give any shout-outs for me?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout-out to my free company on Hyperion, the Salt Sworn, one of the saltiest companies on that data center.
I like it.
Go try this dick.
I like it. And
Nero, are you on Hyperion?
No, I'm not. But apparently, I'm going.
Your followers are.
Yes, I'm going to say that I have a contingent that is on Hyperion. That's good to know. Thank you for the call, Leafon. If you want to call Limit Break Radio, let us know what you feel about feast feeding or the 3.25 Anima Step. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715. We'd love to put you on the air and hear what you think about these most recent additions to Final Fantasy XIV. I'm really I got to go back. I'm disappointed, man. I'm very disappointed with like the PvP adjustments were not really what was needed. Some of them were needed, but when it comes to this feast feeding issue, not at all. None of those issues help adjust the feast feeding issue. And then with the 3.25 Anima Step, just very disappointing all around. I mean, that's one of the things about when we get a step in the Anima chain. I always really look forward to deciphering the Reddit walkthrough or the quest flavor text later on. Like, okay, what am I going to have to prepare myself for? And then I'm working on it for the next several weeks. And you're right. Like, this can be done in a blink of the eye.
Yeah. I'm like, this quest is so short that I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just do another relic. Maybe I'll do 2. And then I'm like, wait, no, that's just silly. It's silly. But like, at this point, like, I was going to have the lore weapon be for my ninja, and then when I get the relic done, then do that. But there's no point, so I'm just gonna have the lore weapon be for my white mage at this point, and then wait a week maybe for my relic to be done.
That's actually really a disheartening way to think of it. Is the lore weapon is literally more work than this stage of the Anima weapon.
So my question to you guys is, why the fuck did they do the Maiden gear thing? If they knew that they were going to put out this stage of the relic, and they knew that it was going to be I-230, and they knew that the requirements for getting it would be accomplishable in days, why would they have put 7 Maiden gears with a 1-week lockout to be able to get your law?
The only thing I can think of,
weapon.
They didn't know, and this was like a knee-jerk reaction.
Oh, no. There's a couple reasons. One is for the people who are staying on top of the relic, you'll have 2 weapons for 2 different jobs, so then you have 2 jobs that are playable. Secondly, is that for the people who haven't kept up with the relic to be able to get it, because believe me, there are people who have not kept up with the relic. Third is to allow people who are non-raiders to get it, because the only other way to get the lore weapon is to raid. So there's 3 reasons right there why they did it. Easy.
But it shoots.
Dude, you know what?
The lore weapon in the foot for your main class.
If this patch came out...
I never got the tome weapon for my main class anyway. Never did.
See, that's why you're not a real paladin.
No, because I either got the raiding one or I got the relic.
No, see, if you're a real paladin, you want to get everything.
I mean, I think the last one I did because I never cleared A4.
Got a glamour.
But like through all of Coil, I never bothered really with it if the relic was better or if the tome one was better.
That's because of how you were playing. Because you were actively rating and figured, I'll just get it from that, right?
So this allows people who aren't rating in order to like have something that's good, or if you're not keeping up with the relic, in order to have something that's good.
With a 7-week lockout?
The only other way to get it is by rating. So if you raid, you get it faster. And then if you don't raid, then you just get it, but you get it slower. It makes sense.
But why make it 7? 7 doesn't make any fucking sense.
You want to make it like 10 instead?
No, make it 4. So that at least I would have had a chance to use the fucking weapon for a minute before putting on my relic.
Dude,
yeah, but the thing is that the only other way, like in Square Enix's mind, the only way to get the tome weapon is supposed to have been through raiding. So if they made it too quickly, that means that they're rewarding the casual players who aren't raiding, which is what their intentions were in the first place. So they made it longer so that it's a little bit slower, so that the raiders had a chance to have the weapon first. And then they release it for the casual players.
Yeah, but in CT, when they introduced the tome drop to CT, where you can unlock your weapon, right? That was just as an item when you were done. It wasn't an item that you had to collect 7 of to then unlock it.
Right, but it had already been out for a very, very, very long time at that point. This one they released simultaneously.
Is the relic weapon like objectively better than the lore weapon?
In some cases.
In most cases, but not all of them.
Yeah, not all. Yeah, I think Machinist got fucked. if I'm not mistaken,
dude. Like if patch 3.25 came out 2 weeks later, and I purchased the lore weapon, and then they came out with this step, I would be so fucking pissed.
Exactly,
because I would basically have wasted those Maiden gears. 7 weeks for a weapon that I'm never going to use.
So that's my question. What did Square Enix gain by not letting you upgrade or letting you do the weapons right out of the gate? What did they gain by gating it off for 7 weeks?
Having Sephiroth weapons relevant for longer.
That is a shitty justification.
Eventually, the lore weapon will be upgradable, right, to 240.
Yeah.
Will that happen before the next stage of the relic?
That's what I'm saying.
You can do that.
You can do it right.
You can do that if you clear A8.
Right.
Do that.
Right. So you can only get. So how else do you get the item that you trade the 7 Maiden gears for? Does that come out?
A6.
Oh, okay, so that comes out of the lower tiers of the raid.
Right, which I was saying the people who were raiding had a little bit of time to enjoy it faster if they were clearing A6 already before the casual players got
Okay, then that actually makes a lot more sense.
That was one of my justifications, I said that.
Yeah, okay.
Well, no, you didn't explain it well enough.
Oh, I thought I explained it on other shows. But okay, yes, it comes from A6, and then the one to upgrade it comes from A8.
Okay,
got it.
That makes sense. See, I was thinking that only the upgrade items were coming out of Savage, and that there was that really the mining gear was really the only way to to do that.
Yeah. Well, we got Arthur's on the line who wants to talk about relic progression.
What's up, Arthur's? Welcome to Limit Break Radio. Thanks for calling in.
Yo, hi, what's up?
What's up, man?
How's your day?
Good.
I hear quite a few of interesting discussion regarding the relic and the PvP esoterics abuse, which I would like to cover.
Yeah,
I'll try to do it quick. Yeah.
Because they are related. I mean, the two, the feast feeding issue does directly relate into the 3.25 anima step, because as we had said before, a lot of people saying that feast feeding is really only a problem because people are farming ESO for their anima step. So, let's talk about that. Arthur's, what would you like to bring to the table today?
Can we start with the relic first? Because
sure.
I think for me, I think the relic quest is perfect. Like after what you guys said, I still think that the relic quest this time is perfect. Now, why do I think that? Because first things first, it like you guys said, it released 1 week earlier before we get our 7 Maiden gear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So most people today or this week or maybe maybe this week they will have like, let's say, minimum 550, so that next week when they go into the 7 Maiden Gear week, they will get another 450 to get 1,000 by the weapon, right?
Right.
So guess what? This relic quest that is introduced this week is perfect, man. Because if you're waiting for Maiden Gear, most probably you're not raiding, you're just wanting a 230 weapon, right? So now with this current quest, which you can get today, you can get a 230 weapon, like you guys say is easy. And then now, guess what? You have another like 550 to potentially 1,000, unless for some reason you guys already traded
That's
the Rowana tokens, which you shouldn't, by the way. But
hang on. Well,
now because
hang on, because here's the thing: is that I'm not told. I don't have all of my other pieces of law gear. So if I'm taking 1,000 law and my 7 Maiden gear at this point to buy weapon for a secondary class, that's 1,000 law that I'm devoting to that class that I'm not devoting to my main. It's basically I'm gonna have about 12 Maiden gear before I trade any of them in. I'm gonna concentrate on getting all those 230 pieces for my main before I get shit for my secondary class. So really, those Maiden gears are just gonna stack up and not do anything, and that's why like, if they had made it a little bit less, I think more people would have used it for their main and been able to justify it like, oh, it was a bridge weapon in between my 210 weapon and my, and my 230 relic.
Yeah, but this relic quest is very good for progression though, because like I was covering earlier, if you can get a 230 weapon today, this week, without spending that potential 1,000 that you're looking to spend on your main, so you can then use this 1,000 to get, like you say, more 230 pieces for your main. And guess what? Stat by stat, for example, you guys were talking about the machinist gun. Some people can talk about the Dragoon Lancer. Those are shit. Relic, by the way, even at 230.
Right.
But take away the secondary stats that is, of course, inferior to the, say, next week's law weapon. But if you were to eat a humble pie, use that more shitty relic, but you spend that 1,000 on, say, 230 body or 2 pieces like hands and head, head and boots. At the whole picture, you gain more primary stats, you gain more vitality, so it helps progression. Like we have been talking very long time, like relic has not been used at all in progression. Relic is shit. Like the previous relic step, 210 coming at what, patch 3.15, way too late.
Right.
Why is that even an incentive to even do a relic, right? Why is there an incentive to do a relic when most people already clear Savage? And the stat, most of the weapon is shit, the Dragoon. Why would I want to do a Dragoon weapon when the, say, the Guardian weapon is better? Things like that coming in. So now you look back at how badly 3.15 relic is. Now you look at how they introduced this step. I think this time relic does have a very significant role in terms of progression. For those people who still haven't cleared turn 2, of course. If you're cleared turn 2, you shouldn't be wasting your time doing relic at the moment, because you should be gearing your main job. Like mainly because as of right now, you should still be spending law on your main job. No point for you to make a relic for a secondary class, because even if you get a 230 relic, for example, for my case, I didn't make the Ninja Dagger this time because I just cleared A8 last week.
Right.
For me, there's no point to do a Ninja Dagger. So I did the Dark Knight. I finished the Dark Knight, by the way, but I look at my Dark Knight and say, okay, I got a 230 weapon, but guess what? All my other gears are shit because I don't have enough law. I don't have enough Savage pages to get my Dark Knight gear. So if you haven't do Savage, the relic is pretty useless. But if you are thinking of going in or haven't cleared turn 2, I think this relic step this time is perfect. And then we would, and the next thing I want to cover is, you guys were talking about how this step is freaking easy, right? I gotta agree though, it is easy though, but it is merely a reward for people like us. You guys, most of you finish your relic as well, right? It's for people like us, people like you, who finish your relic on a time when the relic 210 was totally irrelevant. It was so irrelevant that you shouldn't be doing back then in patch 3.15. But we still did it anyway. We didn't get much chance to use it. People who clear Guardians already would think that that's just a glamour, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? We did it. We deserve this really easy step. A lot of people keep saying, oh my god, this step is so fucking easy. I'm sorry. I'm just going to take the example for the previous caller. I'm sorry. Nothing against you. Just having an example, you were saying that you have 3 oils, right? You did nothing, but you already got 3 oils, right? This step is so easy, right? And then you proceed to say that you did not do your anima. Guess what? That is you guys are saying that's not enough step. Guess what? The step that you missed is the step you're gonna fucking suffer right now, because no one is doing Gordius. No one is, not many people is farming. I mean, the SO, I mean, of course, some people, like, we'll cover that.
Right.
Like, no one is doing your Beastman. If you should still be doing your Beastman because of the material. But if you didn't, because you think that the anima was shit, tough shit, man. You gotta do it right now, because even if you get 5 oil, even if you get 10 oil, guess what? You don't have your anima. You are still stuck. For people like us who did it in a time where it was totally useless, this is our time to shine, and this is our time to relax.
If you go back and you look at and you look at the way that relic progression has kind of always worked, like, I agree with Juxta, where this step felt like there should be one after it. Like, it should have gone from 220 and then to 230. Right. And the thing about, like, and I get what you're saying, that 210 was pretty useless when it was introduced, and that there was a significant amount of work to get into that. But when in the 2.0 progression, if your next step was books, you couldn't start working on books early, right? You had to finish the step and then get to the books, and then you got the books from the NPC, and then you went out and started killing. Like, if you wanted to kill 100 of those Gigas or whatever it is, you couldn't do that early. And I think that plays into at least the perception on how easy it is, or how much of a gimme it is, because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people.
Agree, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are gonna finish that 210 step and immediately have a 230 weapon.
Yep.
Yeah, but because let's be honest, the 210 step was way too intensive. I think for a 210, like you guys say, for a 210, it was way too intensive. For 200 to 210, the steps, getting the 80 items, getting the crafting, I think that is just way too much.
I
do agree that.
I don't know. I actually thought that it felt appropriate for first of all, for a relic quest. It felt like it had an appropriate amount of grind to it. Yeah. I agree that the reward isn't lackluster, but the reward is lackluster. But I think the psychology of doing a relic is much more the long-term investment and the long-term reward, as opposed to, well, it's kind of shitty in this patch. Like, we've had that before. We've had instances where relics are shittier than raid weapons, or shittier than even some of the tome weapons that are coming out. But you still have people that do them because they know that they're going to get that long-term reward out of it.
Yeah, because now it's like what Arthur said. It's the people who haven't done it now have to do it with a hard mode Gordius, basically, because no one's queuing for it.
Have you guys realized the amount of people starting to do anima recently? Oh my god. The fate parties, everybody is starting to gather their crystals.
Guess what? Those people need to fucking get good, because this is not new. Relic questing is not a new concept.
No.
If you didn't hop on when it came out, then guess what? I guess you're just not very smart
You're
or
just
something.
behind.
You're behind. Yeah, you start from behind.
And at least with this step, it'll catch up a little bit.
No, at least
you're not catching up. It's a gimme, because as you're doing your fucking 80 items, you're going to get all that shit done. Yeah, you're going to get all your oils before you get your 80 items done.
That's true.
I mean, if you guys put it in this picture, that does sounds like, when they put in the hard work enough in the anima, they will automatically get it to it. Yeah, for that sense, I agree with you. Yeah, it's a little bit too easy.
And the other thing is that in the last relic progression, we didn't get multiple ways to get items out of it either. There was like a series of tasks that you had to do, and you go kill the thing that you need to kill, and then it strikes it off. It crosses it off that checklist. With this, it's someone who's trying to do the step up to 210 is not across the board screwed because nobody's queuing for Gordius, because they can just grind it out with tomes or with Beastman quests.
Right.
So I think that they did build in some very good redundancies so far with the Anima quests, but that it wasn't done here. Can you imagine what kind of stopgap this is going to end up being for people once everyone is off the Anima quest? Like once everyone is off the 3.25 Anima quest and no longer again queuing for Crystal Tower? You're stuck grinding ESOs. That's it. You're stuck grinding. You're grinding 1,800 ESOs every fucking time.
I think it wouldn't have made sense to not allow you to choose the oil or like to get the oil as a prize until you're on that stage in the relic.
I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
But even so, I feel like there's always going to be enough people per server to queue up for Crystal Tower once a week. I think there's going to be enough. Like maybe it'll take you 20 minutes to get in, but you're getting in 3 times per week. I don't think that's going to be that much of a stretch.
Get online on Tuesday and do it.
Well, that too. Because it's always going to be relevant for the Relic Quest people who are, I guess, bad people who haven't started it yet.
Also, like my free company, for whatever reason, even before this quest came out, runs all the Crystal Towers on Saturdays, just for fun or just for people who are new. And they put it up in Party Finder, and they go in with a full alliance every Saturday. And they'll always do that. And so if you're on our server, you can easily just queue up for it, and it's a lot of fun. And I don't think they're ever going to stop doing that. Well, so maybe, you know, you can find free companies who will... I mean, doing it as a whole alliance is really fun.
No, I agree that there will always be people who will find ways to do it or whatever. But, I mean, like, can you imagine, like, when we're at 3.5 and there's someone who's trying to catch up from 3.1 and they get there and all they want to do is they just want to hit that Q button and just go straight into Crystal Tower and get that item. They're going to be fucked. They're going to be fucked. It's going to be
You only need 5.
It's going to... Right, you do only need 5, but it is going to be a struggle for those players. Right now, it's great. It's great right now. Whenever they redirect us to old content, in the moment, I think it's great. But I think that this could really turn around and bite them on the ass.
I disagree because, again, you can only do it once a week. So you're not going to sit there in your queue for 3 days on end just trying for Crystal Tower things. You're going to do it once a week.
I'm sorry. If I don't get a queue in 10 minutes, I give up and go do something else.
Oh, how nice it must be to be a tank.
Yeah, tank privilege. Please check it.
No, but like when 3.5 is around, I mean, like, how hard's ESO going to be to get? Piss easy?
Yeah, that
you're going to be able to spam ESO super quick.
At 3.5, the ESO grind was going to go down from 18. It's going to go down to like, I don't know, like maybe 500.
Yeah, you're right. They'll ease requirements for it, I'm sure.
Well, to be fair, no, I feel like it's harder to get Poetics than it is to get ESO.
You're right.
Poetics output is so much slower.
Because they segregated that to only 2.0 content. You only get Poetics out of
main scenario roulette.
No, not just 50
of the lower roulettes, and also from actually doing the older dungeons.
Right, you can actually go into the dungeon.
Right, but I actually had to get 2 more items from it's Poetics, right? That's the
Poetics and ESO right now.
So I needed to get 2 more items from Poetics for the last part of my relic, and it was after everyone had already moved off of all of the shit, and they had done the adjustment where Poetics got there was less Poetics that got inserted into the new dungeons. Like they had taken them out, right? Like for a while they were kind of overlapping,
right?
And so after they took them out, I was like, fuck, I've got to grind Poetics. I had to sit around and grind 50 dungeons. Like the last 3 50s put out 100 tomes each. And those were the only 3 that I had to grind. I mean, it was just, Well,
you know what? Maybe you should get off your ass and stop being lazy and do the content when it's released.
Well, you're not wrong.
I know I'm not wrong. I'm Juxta. I'm always fucking right.
Arthur's, thank you so much for the call, man. We appreciate you calling into Limited.
No. Can I talk real quick regarding the Aslo?
Yeah.
Biggest dude ever.
Get out!
Yes, of course you can.
Okay, real quick. Okay. I mean, earlier I heard you guys discussing about, let's say, feeder shouldn't match with platinum, or platinum should not get feeder. Feeder should get feeder so they can feed while you feed. Come on, man. I mean, this is PvP. I mean, I'm not a PvP guy. You guys know that. But I gotta say, man, the feast is a really, really, really good system, man.
I agree.
I myself is playing the feast. Dude, I'm not that good. I'm not that good of a PvP, and I know that Joe never always do PvP. I even recently go to his stream to start seeing how to be good, man. PvP. It's so fun, man. It's engaging, man. The last thing I think of is getting SOs. The last thing that I think of is getting lore. What actually attracts me is I get to play PvP. All right, I get a little bit of tombstones. That's fine. I get Wolfmark. I get to level my PvP rank. I even get a chance to get a pub and sell for money. So
yeah.
If people were to say that, you shouldn't be, you to solve this problem, we should just remove SO, and no, you shouldn't do that, because if there's no SO, why would people want to PvP? Come on, man. Like, I just mentioned so many rewards that you can get. Wolfmark, yeah, the glamour suck. You can use Wolfmark. Buy gear, desynthesis, earn money, raise your desynthesis skill, alright? You got your PvP EXP. Alright, maybe when you get level 50, you don't get, that doesn't include as well. Okay, maybe lore can still be there, but I don't think that removing esoterics is going to hurt people and say, I'm not going to PvP. People play PvP to enjoy PvP. You have people out there playing PvP so into PvP like Joe, so into PvP that...
Right.
Can you imagine if you can match with feeders? Can you imagine? He spent time queuing. He really wants to PvP with friends, and then he meets a feeder. I mean, for you, it's pretty, oh my god, Joe, I'm gonna get fucking wrecked so hard. This is gonna be the fastest 20 esoteric. But have you thought of the other team? Come on, man, this is not what they want, man. If you want to get SO, first of all, Square Enix didn't think about it. Fastest match you can end, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes. We all know, right? When Square Enix designed the dungeon, how much esoterics, how much tombstone, poetics, etc. is allocated to a dungeon is regarding how much effort or the time it might take to run the dungeon. I think Square Enix did not think that matches can end in 2 minutes and people will abuse these 2 minutes. I think they didn't think that. They're fucking stupid, by the way.
We are
human. We would do that, but
I totally agree. I totally agree. I think it was an oversight on Square Enix's part that they didn't really consider the shittiest nature of our player base.
They gave people too much credit again.
And it's just like,
we are humans.
Well, it's just like water, man. Water takes the path of least resistance. It will always take the path of least resistance, and we tend to do the same thing as players, that when we're grinding towards a goal, that we will always take the path of least resistance. That's why there was so much sussing out. What's a better path to take? Is it better to grind Alex? Is it better to grind Tomes? Is it better to do Beastman tribe quests? And we found the most efficient way, and then we shared it with each other, and that's what the most common psychology was going into making those weapons. I think you're seeing the same thing here with feast feeding, that people see it as an easy way to get the thing that they want, and it doesn't matter. Other people's fun doesn't matter. I just want my thing.
Yep.
But I really like the idea. I'm not sure who was that. Is that the intern? I really like the idea though. He was saying no SO until silver, and if you get to silver, if you feed, you lose, you rank down, you don't get any much. I think that was a pretty good idea, but
that was Papa.
That was really good. By the way.
Arthur, are you coming on to our show and complimenting our intern?
Yeah,
how you doing, man?
That was a really good point, though. I got to say that was a really good, and that point actually gave me also gave me what I was saying earlier. Square Enix give tombstones according to effort and the duration of the dungeon. Maybe they can do something like, if the feast were to end 2 minutes, then you just fucking get 5 esoterics. If the match will last the whole duration, which is 8 minutes, then give them the full 20. They have done credit system, fate, hunt. Maybe they can do something like that in the PvP. 2 minutes fight, total face roll 2 minutes. Okay, 5 SO. I mean, you can't complain, man. The match is only freaking 2 minutes, man. If it lasts that long, maybe you get 20. Who knows, man? Maybe if it lasts a full 8 minutes, maybe they can increase it. 30, 40, I don't know. Just something like that. That's what I think.
Yeah, a lot of good ideas. I mean, a lot of good ideas from all of our callers today about possible solutions for this. Thanks, Arthurs. We really appreciate the call. Hey, just a quick question. Dude, am I crazy, or did I see you streaming 1.0 the other day?
No, I was just playing some videos people was
you totally homie, you got me.
Yeah.
You got me good.
It was a joke, you bitch.
I was just kind of casually strolling by, and I saw, I was like, is that fucking 1.0? Kudos to you. You did very well because I didn't notice that it was a video. I saw no pixelation there. I was very impressed.
It's the biggest secret. Like, they still have 1.0 running in Japan. Only over here did we get switched.
People have been trying to establish private servers for 1.0.
No,
yeah.
why?
Arthurs, thank you so much for calling, man. We appreciate it. Make sure you check him out over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Arthurs. If you would like to call Limit Break Radio on Skype are 810-515-8715. We'll take a couple more calls before we wrap it up here, but we've only got about 20 minutes left in the show.
And I have to make a note that if Arthurs or anyone else who calls in compliments our intern again, I will drop you from the call. This is your one and only warning. You've been warned.
Sometimes interns have a strike of brilliance.
Yeah, but you don't credit them for it. That's
All right,
the point
Nika,
of intern.
I'm dropping you from the call. Goodbye, Nika. Goodbye.
Wow, harsh.
I gave the warning, okay? You think I'm not serious?
I don't think she
Iron Fist.
I am so fucking serious right now. I am the engineer.
I don't think she complimented the intern. I think she just said sometimes interns can be smart.
Counts. Okay.
Papa Woody's a good person. You know that?
Jesus, kill him.
Kill him. Wow, now we're getting a little
Holy
extreme.
crap.
I'm sorry.
That escalated a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd like to think he meant kill his mic.
You have no sense of proportion.
You know what? Proportion.
Just for that, I'm bringing Nika back. Welcome back, Nika.
Hi, Nika.
Wait. You actually did mute me?
Oh, absolutely.
I thought that was okay. Juxta doesn't have that power. Why would you side with him?
Because it was funny.
I'm the troll guy.
Because it was funny. Do I need another justification?
We're going with the bit, Nika. Come on.
Come on. Yes, and it's the rules of improv.
I got my life threatened.
Yeah.
Nope.
Got off pretty light just getting a mute there.
Yeah, I mean, a scout's gonna get murdered after the
There's
show.
no way for me to tell on my end that you actually mute me or not, though.
No,
I try to poke in words like, "Can you guys hear me?"
Oh, look at that. I don't think she can tell that she's muted again. Oh.
No, let's not go about this road again. Come on, we know what happened.
Back. All right.
We know what happened.
Nika, you brought that one on yourself.
Again, I still didn't even know. Like, is there a way that you?
No, we said you were muted.
I just said.
I know that.
No, there is no way on screen
that I can tell.
because it's a button that I press.
It's exactly your fault, idiot.
I don't know. Maybe we could, if we set up a camera that would show you what I'm doing to the
Yeah, we need the hand
mixer.
cam over the mixer.
Yeah, the hand cam.
Can we get the up there on the fan? Can we get the Wile E. Coyote cam up there?
Jesus, this is actually almost depressing.
Again, if you want to call the show, Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715. Thank you to all of our callers so far today. We are discussing feast feeding. Do you think that PvP win trading, or not even win trading, but just going in there and sacrificing yourself as a team to get quick esoterics, is that a legitimate strategy for finishing out the 3.25 anima step? And also, while we're on the subject, what do you think of the 3.25 anima step? Give us a call. Limit Break Radio on Skype, 810-515-8715. Again, if you're just joining us, because now we've got about another 30 people that are with us now that weren't with us at the beginning. But if you're just joining us, we are doing an audio-only show today. Unfortunately, my computer decided to play a great April Fool's prank on me by completely dying, and so I have been scrambling to try to get a workable PC up and running, and of course reset all of my my data and settings. So I appreciate your guys' patience with the show today. Hopefully this won't happen again in the future, but it is what it is. So we do appreciate it. Let's read some emails. We've got some emails this week.
Are we literally saving the FFFL right for the end of the show? Is that the plan?
Oh, no, I just forgot about it.
Oh, what a shock.
No high five for you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun because it makes you feel sad.
It makes me feel sad too.
Well,
I'm with you, Scully.
Thank you, John St. John. You said it best.
Then, you know what? It makes me feel twice as good. Okay? All right, so I guess before we read some emails, let's get an FFL update.
Yes.
Good afternoon, FFFL fans. We are now only 2 weeks away from the playoffs as our Week 8 results are officially in the books. Last week was one that saw the pack continue to tighten up for the most part. First of all, Titans Banana Hammocks picked up an upset win over Bondage and Servitude in what was likely a must-win game for them.
What?
The win keeps them in the hunt for the playoffs over the next couple weeks. They go to 3-5, while Bondage and Servitude falls to 4-4. That's right. Next
How did that even happen? I call shenanigans.
Well, you can blame the voters, I guess, if you want.
I need to bring this up to the FFFL commissioner.
Yeah, that'd be me. What can I do for you?
The disciplinary board.
Oh, the disciplinary board. Well, they're very busy punishing the Besaid butt plugs all the time. Now, speaking of the Besaid butt plugs, they ended their losing streak at the hands of Henger's Crucible. After dropping 4 straights, the villains found their rhythm again this week as they advanced to 4-4. And with the loss, Henger's Crucible now also sits at 4-4, which means that half of the league is at 4-4. So fuck y'all. I have to do tiebreakers all the time.
You know, I guess this is a pretty even match then, because I mean, if everyone's winning and losing pretty equally.
Yeah, there's no dominator so far.
Well, you might think that, but finally, in what was the most hotly contested match of the entire season, the Callow Klux Klan got the job done and pulled out the win against the Mordian Jailbirds. The loss puts the Jailbirds into must-win mode for the next couple weeks as they fall to 3-5. The win for the Klan, meanwhile, puts them at 6-2 and clinches their playoff spot, making them the first to do so. On that note, guys, a win next week will clinch a first-place regular season for the Klan.
Interesting.
Yes. So on the waiver wire this week, we have Ferris, Renoa, Beatrix, Genova, Ishtola, Vane, Snow, Alice, Ulmia, and Laguna.
A lot of women up in that lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a lot of women got cut last week.
Feels like you should be... You might be able to find a good couple of names in there.
Yeah, including one you cut. The waiver wire order is Aniro starting off. Aniro, you want to make any changes this week? You got Genova and Vane available to you.
Vane? Who the fuck is Vane?
Yeah. FF12.
Is he a villain?
Yeah.
I don't remember who that
I don't think he's the final bad guy, but he's a villain, isn't it? Isn't he like the leader of the awful army?
Who cares?
I thought he like joined your party at some point.
I think his brother does.
Yeah.
I didn't play a lot of 12.
I'm not seeing anything that I think is...
All right.
Those are pretty bad.
Papa Woody, you want to make any changes?
Yeah. I'm going to drop Duncan.
Oh, finally. 2 weeks before the end, I finally get to get rid of that, huh?
Yeah. And I'm going to pick up Ishtola.
Picking up Ishtola. Alrighty. I'm going to drop Steiner and pick up Beatrix. So I'll go ahead and make a change. Nika, do you want to make any changes?
Nah.
No? All right. Juxta?
Yeah, I'm gonna... Tara didn't really perform as well this week, so we're dropping her ass.
Okay, who are we picking up?
We're picking up Genova.
All right, justify this.
All right, Genova's going to be playing for Bondage and Servitude.
You have to justify this.
Yeah, how's that going to work?
She's in a tank, and we can command her to do whatever she wants.
She's in a tank, much like Bondage and Servitude
She's
is in the tank.
How is she going to play?
Whatever fucking mind magic is. I don't know.
Is she playing tank for you?
Yeah.
In the tank?
She's a tank in the tank.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
come on. Think about it.
She's a tank in the tank for the team on the tank. Got it.
And
all right.
And she's got at least one boob. I can't remember if she has 2 or not.
Well, she's got a cool like headset thingy.
Yeah,
she's got the Oculus Rift.
And like a boob.
Yeah.
Right? I'm pretty sure there was a boob.
At least one boob.
At least one.
Okay. All right, so you'll pick up Genova, and Callow's not here, so he doesn't get to change anything. Standings currently sit with the Callow Klux Klan in first place, the Besaid Butt Plugs in second place, Henger's Crucibles in third place, Bondage and Servitude rounding off the playoffs. Titans Banana and Hammocks is in fifth place, and the Mordian Jailbirds are back to being the Cellar Dwellers. This week, Titans Banana Hammock will be squaring off with Henger's Crucible. The Besaid Butt Plugs are against the Callow Klux Klan, and Bondage and Servitude will be taking on the Mordian Jailbirds. In other league news, officials have confirmed they hope to have a team based out of Garlemald next season. They believe the Garlean Empire is ripe for expansion and have announced that the Week 10 matchup between the Mordian Jailbirds and Titans Banana Hammocks will be held in the Garlean Silver Dome, and that is going to be a Week 10 matchup. Why'd I write that twice? I don't know. The Garlean Citizen we reached for comment said that while Eorzean feast matches can be brutal, everyone knows that Garlean feast matches are the only real sport. More on this as it develops, guys.
And that's the way the news goes.
Nailed it.
All right. Well, thank you for the FFFL update. If you would like to get involved, of course, these matches are determined by your voting over at our website, limitbreakradio.com. If you'd like to see the Callow Klux Klan or the Besaid Butt Plugs or Henger's Crucible, if you want to see
Bondage and Servitude,
if you want to see any of them come out on top in any of these matchups, you got to get over to limitbreakradio.com and make sure that you vote in the matchups. When do the matchups go up?
They will go up on Tuesday.
There you go.
And so like this week we had over 60 people vote in the Jailbirds and Calo Klux Klan matchup. Someone was championing the causes for these teams.
That sounds like a popular contest right there.
Yep, hottest one of the season.
That's right.
All right. So now that we're done with that wonderful bit of news, we have another caller on the line. But
All right.
I'm not sure if we want to take him. It's Skuro.
Oh.
Take him.
Man, your finger dropped off that button real quick.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's not going to compliment the intern, is he?
Yeah, what does he want to talk about?
He wants to talk about PvP, regulatory feeding, and the spectator mode. He wants to know about more about spectator mode.
Oh, because I'm sure that we can answer that. All right, Skuro, what do you want?
Yeah, so I'm thinking like they really need to put a big rush on spectator mode at this point. Just because, if they're having all these issues with the feeding, it'd be nice if they had some sort of like the Counter-Strike way of approach where you have a system called Overwatch. And players themselves can actually watch the games and critique whether that player is feeding or feeding.
Wait a minute. No, Skuro's hitting on something great here, that the peer pressure element of being observed would be a huge deterrent against throwing matches like that.
Instead of 4 people noticing you, it could be infinite.
Exactly.
Yeah, it could be hundreds, 50. I mean,
Did you say people can report it?
Wow, that is a really good idea, Scalia.
Oh, man.
Scally's even getting credit for
What is going on today? We've had interns complimented. We've got a Nero liking Skuro's idea. What is going on?
No, seriously, I think that's a very apt observation there, because observation changes anything.
Yeah,
anything. And it will change the behavior of anyone who's queuing just to have the potential. I mean, if we had the potential to go into spectator mode on a random Tuesday to just have fun and call matches on stream.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be a thing.
It would totally be a thing
awesome.
it would be a thing that we would do. Absolutely. But if we ran into a team of feeders, dude, we would. Do you think that
we would finger blast them so hard? Call them out so hard.
Yeah, we really would. It wouldn't even be a question. Yeah, people would absolutely. The complaints would increase. The names of the people who do this kind of shit would be reported more often and by more people.
Yeah.
You can. You can. I mean, for Square Enix, you would have more to corroborate a story outside of just one person's anecdotal evidence of this guy sucked because he died 6 times. There's actual proof there.
Right. I like it. And
that's hard to critique that part of it, too.
At the end of the match, everyone gets to vote thumbs up or thumbs down, like in the Coliseum. If everyone says thumbs down, the losing team gets their main jobs reset to level 1.
Interesting.
Just have
I think that's a good plan.
Just holding his thumb out.
That's funny. Anything else, Skuro?
Yeah, I mean, that was just kind of like, I was thinking that'd be a great idea because a lot of people are mentioning like removing ESOs and all that, but the problem is that actually punishes PvP players whether they realize it or not, because that means it's less time you're doing PvP, which means the people that don't give a fuck about ESO gear or any kind of progression because they've already hit their max in their max class, they're just doing PvP and exceeding rank over people that would be like, so like Joe. If he just tries to do his endgame stuff, he's losing ESO, so he's actually falling behind other players that, don't need him anymore.
No, because if you play PvP and at least once the matchmaking algorithms are worked out, you should win. You'll fall into your place and you should win about half the time. That is with the amount of ESO you would still get from winning, that would be plenty to still cap.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if you completely removed it, because people are like, oh, well, just remove the ESOs and people won't go in there and feed. If you completely do that, then, it'll, stop people that are queuing up for just the ESOs, but you're also going to basically hurt the PvP community because they can't no longer just PvP.
Well, I think they were talking about removing ESO from losing, not from winning.
Yeah, I think a couple of people, maybe it was me who I had suggested removing it from all.
I think
just removing it altogether. But yeah, no, I think removing it from a loss would probably be the best way to go there. Anyway, Skuro, thanks for the call, man, and for actually bringing something interesting to the table.
I'm impressed.
That's shocking. That's shocking. No, we appreciate the call, man. So let's take some emails here. We want to at least get through